Welcome to ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Remington.
I'm outside with part of the Red Raider Nation. Pretty soon we're heading into Jones AT&T Stadium for a huge game in the Big 12. Oklahoma can go to the Big 12 championship if they get by the Texas Tech Red Raiders tonight. Maybe even a national championship in their future. But first, they have to get by the pass-happy boys of the South Plains. We're getting ready for an air raid tonight in Lubbock. The Sooners and Red Raiders have two of the most potent passing attacks in college football. Sam Bradford has been Sam the Sensational, setting freshman records along the way while leading the country in pass efficiency and leading OU to the top of the Big 12 South. Graham Harrell leads the Raider Air Game. Another in the long line of Texas Tech gunslingers, the pass-happy boys of the South Plains can light the scoreboard from any spot on the field. And tonight, they look to spoil OU's title hopes. ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Southwest Airlines. And our matchup from Lubbock, Texas tonight, it's the number 4 team in the country, the Sooners of Oklahoma, against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. And as you take a look at the Big 12 South standings, you can see Oklahoma all alone in first place, Texas on their heels, but just one loss suffered against Colorado, the only blemish on Oklahoma's record. So what we've got tonight is two high-powered teams, and Oklahoma knowing they can go to the Big 12 championship if they win this one. Welcome to Lubbock, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler, but first they've got to get through the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, and that's no easy task because we got two great quarterbacks. This might take about 4 hours. You might want to get an extra beverage tonight as we get set to head into the stadium. And one of my partners, that's the way he always gets ready for a game. He's doing his pregame research.
Will you leave me alone? I'm trying to get some information on the game. This guy knows more than all of us. Take a look at this guy.
We're getting ready for a Saturday night celebration in Lubbock.
The best. Now you're being put to the test. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Now you're on your own. We gon' see who regulates and who gets to celebrate. I just wanna celebrate. I wanna celebrate. I just wanna celebrate.
There comes the masked rider on the Midnight Matador, and behind him will come the Texas Tech Red Raiders. On senior night, 17 will clear out of that smoke for the final time on their home field. It is the Red Raiders of Texas Tech taking on the number 4 team in the country, the Sooners of Oklahoma. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler with one of my partners, Bob Greasy. Well, we've set it up. We know what Oklahoma can and has to do now. And thanks to little brother Mike Stoops, and Oregon's lost to Arizona on Thursday night, the stables are open right now for the Sooners if they can run the table.
Well, the reloading at Oklahoma is over, and the Sooners are back in the national championship race. And the final piece of that puzzle was quarterback Sam Bradford. He has an outstanding season, but he's a redshirt freshman. He had his 2 poorest games on the road, so the key for Oklahoma, they've got to be able to run the football here tonight.
Well, we know we're not going to see much running of the football from the other guys, the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. They pass some more. With more on that, let's go to my other partner who's going to get a great view of it. Down on the camera card is Paul McGuire. Pablo?
Let me tell you something. When I saw the numbers at the beginning of this week, I said, I have to be down here to take a close look at this. Listen to this. Their offense averages 543 yards a game. Their quarterback has thrown 43 touchdown passes, 40 of them to wide receivers. 2 of their wide receivers have caught balls for over 1,000 yards so far this year. Now, I'm going to tell you what. You're going to see fireworks tonight like you've never seen before. And now let me go to Bunny, who's down with the coach and the guy that orchestrates this whole thing. Bunny?
Well, Mike, your offense, as prolific as it is, has had a tough time putting up points against Oklahoma. What about this team you think could change that today?
Well, we got a good group that's getting better all the time, but a lot of people have trouble putting up points against Oklahoma, so we'll see how it goes today.
Sam Bradford, OU's quarterback, you know him, you recruited him, you wanted to give him a scholarship. What is the biggest challenge with him?
I just think he's playing real well. I mean, Josh Heupel, who I recruited there, coaches him, so I think he does a real good job getting him to play real level-headed like Josh, but we're excited about our quarterback here.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Brad?
Well, Texas Tech comes in 7-4, 3-4 in the conference, 4-1 at home so far this year. They're coming off a loss to Texas, and Texas Tech won the toss, and they want the ball. They always want the ball. The question is how long they can hold the ball. Sometimes they score too quickly. And so that means that Garrett Hartley will tee it up, and guns are almost up here in Lubbock. Detron Lewis and Edward Britton await on the other end for the Red Raiders. Night game in Lubbock, and we're all set for Saturday Night Football on ABC. Deep kick, and Texas Tech is going to work from its own 20-yard line, and Graham Harrell's the guy that'll bring him out. 6'3" junior, 15-9 as a starter, 9 career 400-yard passing games, and he has already become only the 5th player in Bowl subdivision history with back-to-back 4,000-plus yard seasons, and he comes in with almost 5,000 tonight. Number 1 in the country, 4,878 passing yards, including an incredible, as Paul mentioned, 43 touchdowns. So the Red Raiders set it up at their own 20-yard line. And it's Harrell in the gun. First throw of the night is complete. And it's across the 25-yard line out to about the 27. Let's check today's starting lineups presented by Dell. And to do the honors, Donald Trump.
My friend and one of the best coaches in the country, Mike Leach, has a potent offense. And it all starts up front with the linemen. They need to protect the quarterback. When they do, Graham Harrell is one of the best passers in the nation, throwing to players like superstar wide receiver Michael Crabtree.
We'll tell you the story about the Donald after we see this first down run by Eric Morris on the quick pass. Donald Trump, Mike Leach just goes to New York one day with his daughters and says, you know, I've read Donald Trump's book and I'm looking at all these big buildings. Someone got their name on. I think I'll give him a call.
Go upstairs.
So he calls upstairs and says, is Mr. Trump in? And they said, well, who's this? Well, I'm Mike Leach. I coached some football at Texas Tech, and I read his book, and I thought he had some pretty good points. And I might put some of those to use for my football team. Well, they passed him around a few times, and lo and behold, a couple weeks later, the Donald calls him. And they've been out of the blue, and they've been friends ever since. Is that crazy or what? Here's Harrell, a throw again across the 40. Grant Walker. Let's check the Dell starting lineups defensively, and our old buddy Adrian Peterson.
The OU defense is anchored by DeMarcus Granger. At linebacker, Curtis Lofton, one of the best in the biz. In the secondary, we have Reggie Smith, my little bro, Marcus Walker, and pretty boy Floyd, Nick Harris.
AD, the Minnesota Vikings, with the starting lineups for us defensively, and as he said, his little bros back there are going to be busy tonight in that nickel defense, because not only is it pass, and pass some more, it's no huddle and a pretty brisk pace that the Red Raiders are setting right now as they're already out to the 49-yard line. Here comes a blitz. Harrell throws over and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lindy Holmes, the nickelback. Lindy Holmes, he might score. Inside the 30. Cuts back to the middle of the field, and he's in. Touchdown, Oklahoma. .49 yards, Grease, on the interception for the score.
You know, Brett, I was just going to say when you said they like to throw it around, and said the defensive backs kind of like this type of game because it gives them a lot of opportunities to pick some passes off and do this. Great return, 7 points, going the other way.
Holmes with a big play, his third interception of the season, and it has stunned the crowd here On the opening drive for Texas Tech, the extra point is up and good. Lindy Holmes playing back there because they have to have 5 DBs on the field at all time, and Oklahoma knows what to do defensively when they get their hands on the ball. Touchdown Sooners, 7-0 early. This telecast of ESPN College Football on ABC HD is presented by DLP HD TV. Lindy Holmes just goes about 64 yards on the touchdown on that high-definition screen in the end zone for the first score of the Knights. Garrett Hartley to kick for the second time. And again, this will not be returnable, I don't think. Going to take a knee. Detron Lewis 5 yards deep. So let's check the game plan, fellas.
Well, for Oklahoma, they got to stay in the chase, and for Texas Tech, just got to outshoot them. And you know, for Texas Tech and for Graham Harrell, I mean, being down 7 points is like a drop in the bucket.
Paul, you're down there. You said it didn't have any effect. It didn't seem, huh?
No, they just kind of walked off the field and said, okay, let's go back out and throw 7 up of our own.
Well, they start from the 20 again. Lewis and Crawford flanking Harrell in the shotgun. And they will run the ball, believe it or not. No gain on the play. Jeremy Beal makes the stop. Graham Harrell loves this offense.
We just attack leverage. Wherever they're not, that's where we're going to try to go. We're going to throw it there. We're going to run it there. And I think that's the part that makes this offense click, is just that we feel like we can attack any part of the field at any time, and we have 5 players that can make plays on the field at any time.
Throw it where they ain't. Here comes Oklahoma with a blitz. Harrell to the air, incomplete, intended for Crabtree. And Reggie Smith was on the coverage defensively for OU.
Ness, this is one of those things you're going to see that Oklahoma will do against us, and they're not afraid to. They sent 6 guys. They just blitzed. They said, if you're going to throw it, we're going to come and get you, not let you settle down.
So again, without the huddle, but not hurrying this time. And now Crabtree comes over, and he'll join a group in the middle as part of a trip set to the left of Harrell. There he is, number 5. Leading receiver in the country. Smashed every freshman record there is for the most part as far as a wide receiver is concerned. Harrell flushed, and he's just going to get rid of this thing. Now, wait a minute. He was out of bounds. Grant Walker actually got his hands over there. There were so many Oklahoma coaches and players so close to the sideline. I didn't see that Walker actually got his hands on the ball.
Now, so far, the defense of Oklahoma is winning this battle. First possession, interception for a touchdown. Second possession, force him to punt, and he doesn't like to punt.
Here's Walker at the end of the play on the sideline and dives, but his body's out of bounds. And that means Jonathan LaCour will have to punt. I said earlier today I'd like to be the punter here. You don't even have to stretch, and here he is punting in the first quarter. Oh, big hit, but not on the guy that caught the ball. Dominique Franks was back there with Reggie Smith, and Reggie took the shot. Dominique Franks took the return. Big hit by Stephen Harris on the special teams. Here's the end of the play. Hello, Reggie. And Dominique Franks says, thanks for taking it, teammate.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. Visit southwest.com. The new 2008 Focus. Clean Exchange, a disposable head electric shaver, new from Remington. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
Texas Tech women's rodeo team won its 3rd straight Southwest Championship, and they lead the 16 schools in the region after 5 fall rodeos. Want to thank Coach Chris Gay and the team for letting us join their practice. Good job, ladies.
You wouldn't want to mess with those
No,
guys.
baby.
Tie you up real quick.
Well, we got a fumble, and Texas Tech's got it. Going the other way. Bradford's going to make the tackle on Marlon Williams. And the Red Raiders get a break with their defense.
I'll tell you, that ball just pops out and it rolls for about 8 yards, and it rolls right into the hands of Marlon Williams. Watch this when right at the line of scrimmage, he gets hit here, and the ball, watch where the ball ends up. It just rolls through people's legs. Marlon Williams just picks it up, and the quarterback makes the stop.
It was Paul Williams, the middle linebacker, that knocked it loose. And then Marlon, no relation, picked it up and ran.
And now a golden opportunity for the Red Raider offense at the Oklahoma 34-yard line. Will they try to take advantage of it with a quick strike following the turnover? 1st and 10, Texas Tech. They wanted to throw a screen on a crossing pattern, and it's incomplete, blown up by the Oklahoma defense. Crabtree was going to be the guy. They wanted to get it in his hands. Incomplete. So Bob Stoops' team came in +7 for the turnover margin, and Texas Tech was -5, and that just went the other way for them that time.
Oklahoma was 19th in the nation in turnover margin. As you mentioned, +7. That's really good.
2nd down at 10. They fake the run. Harrell flushed out of the pocket again, tipped in the air, incomplete. Allen Davis got a hand on it.
I'm going to tell you what, they are so effective, Oklahoma, with the blitz, and they're disguising it very well. And the guy that's going to knock this ball up is Curtis Lofton, number 40. Watch him. These guys are in his face.
It was Davis, Paul.
Excuse me, yeah, it was Davis. I saw Lofton there, but thank you, Bob. That was Davis. But I tell you what, these guys are the 3 guys that are down are putting an awful lot of pressure on this offensive line.
Oklahoma thinking about a blitz again. It's 3rd down at 10. Coming off the corner, Harrell gets rid of it. Intended for Eric Morris. And a penalty marker down. DJ Wolf is the guy that came storming around the corner.
Penalty decline, 4th down.
Holding is on Aaron Crawford. He was trying to stop that blitz.
And I like what the defense is doing. They're putting they got a 3-man line, and they put the linebackers in between the linemen, so the offensive line doesn't know which guy's coming and which guy isn't.
They're going to try to get some points on the board here. And finally, they run out the extra couple of bodies. They're going to try a 51-yard field goal. Let's see if they can put 3 on following the fumble recovery. Kick on the way. Just inside the pipe. He got it. 51-yard field goal. Alex Chuleke. And Texas Tech's on the board.
Well, the first score in any game is the toughest to get, and that is a big boost, even for a team that has come in averaging 43 points a game. Those 3 are big against Oklahoma.
Well, they can't all be touchdowns. Now the race, Bob said earlier, stay in the chase if you're Oklahoma. Speaking of the chase, it concludes tomorrow afternoon. NASCAR Nextel Cup Series Ford 400 at Homestead, Miami on ABC tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern. And Jimmy Johnson is in the driver's seat, let's put it that way. And he's also on the pole.
Yeah, he won the pole. It's the last race of this. Well, these guys go on forever, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Jeff Gordon has got an outside shot. He's 86 points back. Actually, 4 times during the regular season, Jeff Gordon has made up an 87-point difference before. So yeah, you got to watch out.
I didn't know you were watching it that closely.
I got to tell you.
The only way my man Gordon's got a chance is if they don't give any gas to Jimmy Johnson.
Well, a 4-play drive that went nowhere except over the crossbar and inside the upright. All the points off turnovers so far. 51-yard field goal. Here's the kickoff. Fielded at the 5 by DeMarco Murray. Murray, oh boy. Great coverage by Texas Tech and Darcel McBath. And now the Red Raiders are fired up as we head into New York and get an update.
Hi there, Matt Weiner here in New York. I'll let you know what's happening around the country throughout the game. Here's the Taco Bell update from Cincinnati. West Virginia can win the Big East, maybe more by winning out, but they got to get past the Bearcats. And down 7-0, Ben Mauk hits Marcus Barnett 70 yards to tie it up at 7. Oklahoma State trying to get bowl eligible, leads Baylor by 21.
Oklahoma plays Oklahoma State next week. Patrick holds on to the football. Excuse me, it's Chris Brown who gets out to about the 18-yard line. They're saying Texas Tech got the ball. And they didn't. Both teams a little chippy right here. Brian Duncan mixing it up with some of the Sooners.
Texas Tech picked up that fumble earlier. They lead the nation in forced fumbles with 31. But they've only recovered 8, now 9 with that one here tonight. But they have a knack of knocking the ball out.
Second down back the 14-yard line. Johnson in motion. Play action for Bradford. On the run, throws complete across the 20. And looks like it's going to be a first down to Joaquin Iglesias. Let's check the Dell starting offensive group for the Sooners and Adrian Peterson. AD.
The OU offense starts up front with Big Nasty Duke Robinson. At quarterback, young gun Sam Bradford has weapons outside led by Malcolm Kelly. In the backfield, the tradition is still alive, and AP, my boy, Alan Patrick.
And Adrian Peterson, we wish you a healthy comeback with the Minnesota Vikings. AD, one of our favorite players in his college years.
Boy, he was
in Norman.
Tearing it up, wasn't he?
He sure was. On his way to maybe all-time records, and we hope he can get back in a hurry. Let's check the Texas Tech Dell starting defense, and once again the Donald.
The Red Raiders front four need to get pressure on the quarterback. The linebackers are fast and agile, while the secondary is going to make it a long day for the Sooners passing game. Oklahoma, you're a great team, but today, you're fired.
You know, he talks at you like McGuire, kind of always yelling, you know?
Yeah, like he's the boss, right?
Don't forget it either.
Here's Bradford to throw. Swing pass to Alan Patrick. Make it Chris Brown, I beg your pardon. Brown again. And again, Paul has got a great view because he's going to generally be at about the line of scrimmage and watch things from that perch.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for him to throw me a ball up here. I mean, they throw the ball so many times. Did they? Can I ask a question? Did Texas Tech actually run a running play in that?
They had one. Yeah, they had one.
Why?
Just to keep you honest. Here's third down. Oklahoma, one of the best in the business on third down, 52% from their own 25. Bradford completes it, and in and out of the hands of Kelly. So it's incomplete. He had his hands on it and couldn't hold it. And the Sooners have to give it up.
Well, that was Chris Parker. What a great play he made as a corner. And he just came up and knocked the ball out because the ball should have been caught by Kelly. Take a look at this. Kelly has the ball in his hands. Now watch Parker just knock the ball out of his hands, pull his arms away. That's just great defense. Maybe Trump was right.
Mike Nall to punt. Danny Amendola waits on it on the other end. One of the seniors at the 21. And he's not going to get away. Only about a 2-yard return. And Patrick down there in the special teams makes the hit for OU. 10-17 to go first quarter. 7-3 Sooners.
For today's City Coaching Moment, we look back to 2000 when second-year head coach Bob Stoops and his undefeated Sooners faced Florida State in the national championship. Led by quarterback Josh Heupel, the Oklahoma offense struggled to score, while the defense kept Florida State off balance. 2 Oklahoma field goals were the only points scored until a late touchdown run by Quentin Griffin clinched the game. The victory secured an undefeated season for Stoops and Oklahoma's first national title in 15 seasons.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
So Texas Tech has got it back. They've already gotten a field goal on a drive that didn't go anywhere following a fumble return, and they've had an interception return for a touchdown by Lindy Holmes. That's our 2 scores. A defensive score for the Sooners and 3 points on offense. And here's a little toss to Aaron Crawford. It's another rarity. That's the second run out of the spread offense. And Bob, we've seen it so many times inside the game You know, everybody talks about the spread. What the heck is it in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, well, think about 3rd and 1 where everybody's lined up real tight and they're going to block everybody, all the defensive guys. Converse that with a spread where you 2 wide receivers on the left, 2 out here on the right. All the defense has to spread across the field, and you don't have to block those guys. Now, the spread is really good if you got a guy like Dennis Dixon of Oregon who can stand back there and either spread and throw it or run the ball himself. That's where it really gets tough.
There's a first down throw complete to Eric Morris. The dimension of the running quarterback, he's the guy you can't account for defensively.
That's so true. And when you spread the field, you're also spreading the defense, and it creates holes and gaps, not only for you to run in, but for you to throw the football.
Eric Morris came in with 58 catches. Amendola with 94. Crabtree with 113. I mean,
those are
unbelievable numbers.
Those are career numbers.
First down at the 39. Play action. Harrell wants to throw a screen, I think, and he's just going to throw it away. DeMarcus Granger put some great pressure on him at that point. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Brad DeGrease's point, for as hard as the spread is for defenders to deal with, Oklahoma maybe has a little bit of a leg up getting good pressure on Harrell, because look at who they get to face in practice. For as big as Tech's offensive line is, Oklahoma's is almost just as big, and they get more good on good first teamers against first teamers than a lot of teams across the country do. They'll get to see their O-line 25 to 30 plays a day. So on Saturdays, nothing seems much faster than it does in practice during the week.
Boy, some of these linemen on both these teams, you're talking about 360.
Well, the Red Raiders are averaging 331 pounds per man.
Harrell across the middle, completes it to Amendola. Danny Amendola down to the 44-yard line. First down, Texas Tech.
And Amendola is not one of those big guys. He's only 177 pounds. Amendola is up here. Coming into the middle, he gets right in the middle of the field. A little guy. They've got 2 little guys in the slots, and then 2 big guys on the outside.
See how he put the brakes on and got around Lewis Baker, the linebacker, number 16?
He knew where he was supposed to be.
So first down, back in OU territory at the 44-yard line.
Ball.
A quick bubble screen, if you will, out to Amendola again. Here's what we were talking about this year. Look at the receiving numbers for these 4 guys. Crabtree, Amendola, Morris, and Britton. As Bob said, 1707 and 20 touchdowns on 113 receptions for Crabtree. That's like a career.
That was like 37 touchdowns for those 4 wide receivers this year.
Of the 43 that Harrell has thrown. Second down along 3. Crawford on the run, and he got about 2 of it. DeMarcus Granger made the stop.
This may be the only down that's questionable for this team, because now you've got the ball at 3rd and about 1.5 yards. Do you run it, or do you go right back to what you do best and throw the ball?
Well, you know that they're within their field goal kicker's range, because he's gotten one from almost this far out. And Mike Leach, he just says, you know, he hates even the word punting.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get a punt. We know that.
Oh, yeah. But you saw him there signaling in the play. They both have wristbands, so he held at some fingers and signaled in. Look at your wristband. That's the play I want.
And they have gone on 4th down. They're going to have to take a timeout here. Didn't like the looks of things. With 7:57 remaining in the first quarter, we got a little break here, and we can send it to Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brad, in addition to the Sooners and Red Raiders on ESPN, West Virginia and Cincinnati, huge implications in the Big East, potentially in the BCS as well. The Bearcats just picked off Pat White there. That game tied up at 7 apiece. And Clemson and Boston College playing for the Atlantic Division title in the ACC. The winner there goes on to the conference championship game. Tigers have the early advantage, 7-0 early in the second.
It's one of the biggest games in Death Valley in a long, long time. And here, final home game for Texas Tech. Last year they were 8-5, 4-4 in the conference. Right now 7-4 and 3-4 in conference play. Harrell now trotting back out there with Amendola and Morris. Crawford is tailback. And the high-powered offense of Texas Tech that scores 43 points a game, 3rd in the country. Oklahoma's number 2 at 45 a game. So far, just 7-3 here. And guns are up in the stands for their offense. 0 for 2 on third down so far today. Harrell under center trying to draw off the Oklahoma defense, and now he'll backpedal back into the shotgun. And here come the Sooners after him. Throws over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Amendola. And it's fourth down. But remember, they go for it on fourth down more than pretty much anybody in the country. 24 times they've gone on fourth down this year, Texas Tech.
They made it 14 to the 24.
There it is.
That's one of those deals where the coach says, all right, let's hold them on third and fourth down.
Somebody told me the other day, you know, they don't have that many 3 and outs. I said, that's because they have 4 and outs.
That's true.
So fourth down here, the big one in the opening quarter. They've got to get it to the 34-yard line. Fourth down and 2.
Man coverage.
Harrell has time, pumps. Now he pulls it down. Let's see if he's going to run for it. He's got it. He doesn't run a lot, but that one was effective.
You're right. He doesn't run a lot. And when you're in man coverage, the defensive backs turn and run with the receivers downfield.
All right, when you take a look at this thing, you're going to see these guys go by him. And now watch what Harrell does. He steps up right here. He almost lost the ball. Then he looks and he sees exactly what you saw, Bob. All those guys downfield with their backs to him. And he said, why not run?
And picks up 11 on fourth down and 2. So now they're 15 to 25 on fourth down conversions on the year. And they keep their drive alive. Again, Oklahoma brings the heat. Harrell running for his life. Throws. Is it caught by Crabtree? No, they're going to say he trapped it. Marcus Walker was covering back there. Kansas was a winner today again. If you missed it on ABC, it was 45-7, an impressive win by the number 3 team that'll move to number 2. Kansas State, Missouri a winner, so that sets up the big showdown with the Jayhawks, and Oklahoma State at halftime leading Baylor 28-14. First time ever 11-0 for the Kansas Jayhawks.
They're setting all kinds of records over there.
Chase Daniel had another huge day today against Kansas State. What a showdown that'll be, huh? Those 2 quarterbacks next week. Whoa, Harrell wasn't ready for the ball, but he caught it anyway and throws it complete to Amendola. I don't think Graham saw that thing coming until it was right in his chest, Bob.
Well, he reacted well to it.
Yes, he did. Looked like he was just looking out of the corner of his eye. He's looking to the left. Watch that. That's a great shot. Now watch the ball. He's like, okay, we're going to do this. Whoops.
He turned it back just in time.
You know, it's really funny when you talked about all these big linemen of Texas Tech, and then you look in the backfield when they huddle up with Harrell, they all look like little munchkins. I mean, they're all little people.
11th play of the drive.
Number 76 weighs 375 pounds.
That's on the left side, Bob.
That's Carter.
Here comes everybody. And it has it knocked down by Allen Davis. Second time today Davis has got a hand on it. And on fourth down, now this may be a decision. Do you take the for sure 3, or do you go on fourth down and 6?
Just depends on how you're feeling if you're Mike Leach. I don't think anybody can predict what he's going to do.
He doesn't like to punt, Bob, but he will occasionally kick a field goal, because that puts points on the board. What he doesn't like about punting is giving that ball up to the other team.
It'll be a 38-yard field goal attempt. First one was good from 51 for Alex. Now he'll try to make it a 1-point ball game here. From 38, kick on the way, and he is 2 for 2. So it's a 1-point ball game. 6:42 remaining in the first quarter. Saturday night football from Lubbock, Texas. 7-6. Oklahoma in front, courtesy of an interception return for a touchdown. The masked rider of the South Plains.
He just went by me, Ness.
12-play drive, 54 5 yards covered and 3:35 they use off the clock. And with 6:42 remaining in the quarter. A kick. Will go 2 yards deep to Iglesias. Iglesias got a little bit of a gap on the near sideline. He's all the way out near midfield. Nice return of almost 50 yards as we check in with Matt Weiner in New York.
All right, Brad, this Sports Center Minute is powered by Vizio. Todd Reesing hit on 19 of his first 20 passing attempts, tossed 4 touchdown passes on the day. Kansas has won 11 games for the first time ever. They beat Iowa State to set up the showdown with Missouri next week. And on the heels of Michigan's loss to Ohio State, Wolverines coach Lloyd Carr will step down on Monday at a 10 a.m. news conference. ESPN has learned today. 13 years, 5 Big Ten titles, 1 national championship for Carr.
All right, Matt, thanks. As we're back here, an injured player, Anthony Hines, and appears to be holding his knee, involved trying to cover that kickoff return. And as they tend to him, we'll let you know coming up tomorrow night. Some of the biggest music stars on the planet will come together. Live performances by Rascal Flatts, Maroon 5, Lenny Kravitz, Fergie, a lot more. First time ever, your votes will decide who wins. The American Music Awards tomorrow on ABC. Hey, Beyonce is going to be there, special appearance. Got to watch that. Boy, you hope in the last game of the season, the regular season, you don't end up with a knee injury.
Yeah, it's tough.
ESPNU All-State Standings Review, LSU, and a winner at Ole Miss today. So they're 10-1, and they're headed to the SEC title game in Atlanta. And who will they play? Will it be Tennessee or Georgia? That's yet to be determined. Oregon lost on Thursday night, of course, and that sets the stage for Kansas to move to 2 and Oklahoma to 3, and Missouri would move to 4. And of course, it's a 3-team playoff basically in the next couple of weeks between those 2 teams from the Big 12. And you know, 6 times in the 9 years, and it'll be 7 of 10 now.
Yeah.
A team with 1 loss will play for the BCS title. 6 of 9 so far, and it will for sure be 7 out of 10.
Kansas is the only team that is still undefeated that has a chance to get to the championship game undefeated.
But if they were to get there against LSU, LSU would have at least 1 loss. So, yeah, we hope Anthony's going to be okay out of Denison, Texas, and being helped off the field. That's tough.
LSU still has a game left before they go to that championship game in Atlanta.
That's right.
I think it's Arkansas.
At the 49, here's DeMarco Murray. Great speed by this young guy, and he falls forward for almost 9 yards. And now we got a fracas going on the Sooner bench. That's not a good spot to pick a fight if you're a Texas Tech defender. Rajon Henley and Duke Robinson, I think, were kind of hooked up over there. And there's a flag down. And let's see if it's because of the altercation on the sideline or if it's for some other reason. John Bibles, our referee.
After the play, personal foul number 72 on the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. The down counts. It'll be 2nd down.
Oh, and I think Bob Stoops is upset that it's not offsetting penalties. He just threw his headset. Crowd reacting to that. Duke Robinson is the guy, the left guard, the big fella out of Atlanta, 350-pounder. Let's watch the end of the play. And boom. Well, it's way late. Yep. And Duke's just driving. He's trying to drive them all the way to the New Mexico border.
What happened before that?
You never know.
We saw the second part of it. I don't know if there was a first part or not, but with Stoops reacting, I mean, it looked like it was a no-brainer against Oklahoma. Why would Stoops react that way if something else didn't happen?
Oklahoma's got Joey Halsley in the lineup at quarterback, and he's going to throw it deep. Man out there's Kelly, and it's almost intercepted by Texas Tech. Great coverage. Jamar Wall stride for stride with Kelly. I don't know if anything's wrong with Sam Bradford or if this was by design that Joey Halsleys were going to get a little bit of time, but there he is, the junior out of Huntington Beach, California.
I didn't see anything happen with Sam Bradford.
I didn't either.
He's over on the bench area talking to some trainers
with his helmet off. So this is an interesting twist. There's Sam. Doesn't look like he's hurt, but how do we know? From our vantage point, we didn't see anything happen to him. And now the backup quarterback goes down in a heap. And you know the Red Raiders are smelling blood. Daniel Charbonnet and Rajon Henley get in there in the sack.
You know, I remember back. Well, let's take a look at this first. See the blocking up front. Somebody gets in right through the middle. That's Duke Robinson, number 72, that allows the sack. But I'm just thinking back. Remember when the fumble was picked up, it was Sam Bradford that made the tackle. Maybe he had got his head hit. Maybe he's got a slight concussion of some kind.
No, with a terrible punt that lands at about the 42-yard line. Texas Tech with a golden opportunity as you look at the starting quarterback, the guy leading the nation in pass efficiency without his helmet on the sideline. And then Nall hits just a 28-yard punt.
Hey, Ness, I'll tell you right, we haven't even played 10 minutes and I'm tired.
Bob's arm's sore up here already, and Harrell hasn't even got out of the first quarter.
It's unbelievable.
I got ice on my shoulder already.
And now the Red Raiders from their own 39-yard line. Harrell with trips to his right, 3 wide receivers out there. Trying to take the lead. Fires, got his man, Crabtree inside the 40. Crabtree with a nice move, cuts back, picks up a blocker. Inside the 20, down the sideline. Did he get there? Touchdown! .61 yards, Bob.
This is why we look at Crabtree. He is the leading receiver in the country, not only in yards, not only in receptions, but touchdowns as well. This is his 21st touchdown on the year.
Tight ropes the sideline, got 1 foot down, and then the pylon hit it. 61-yard touchdown, and Texas Tech, they're going to review this play, but Texas Tech is in front at the moment, and it would be 13-7 if this holds up.
I'll tell you one thing, Bob, just being down here on the field close to him, when he caught the ball, you talk about awareness of where everybody else is. His footwork was unbelievable just to get away from the defenders. He made a stop move and cut right back to his right, and he was back at full speed after 2 steps.
Not only is he big and strong, let's check and see if he steps on the line before.
Problem is the ball's in his right hand and not in his left hand.
Boy, it was a great effort.
Makes a great effort to stay in bounds. The officials are right there.
I don't think there's going to be anything where they can take this away because the left foot appears to stay in there. The right foot, just an unbelievable job to get the right foot kind of at a 45-degree angle. He stepped on the side of his arch and then took it in and hit the pylon.
There are two steps there on the sideline.
After review, the runner stepped out of bounds at the 1-yard line. It'll be Texas Tech's ball, 1-yard line, 1st and goal.
All right, well, they're going to reverse it then.
Well, I don't see how you can see him stepping out of bounds from any angle that we showed. Unless you're right on down that line.
Yeah, and that's
touchdown.
The officials in the review booth only see what we have put out on the air here, and so I didn't see anything that was really convincing to overturn the call.
And Terry Turlington's our replay official, and they say 1-yard line, so it's 1-yard line. And now it's a quarterback sneak. And now they're in for the touchdown. So Harrell's going to get credit instead of Crabtree, but they'll take it however they can get it.
All right, there's a running game.
Yeah, right. Of course, everybody knows, I think, that follows college football, that Mike Leach was fined $10,000 by the Big 12 for his comments about the officiating in the game last week in the loss to Texas. And so here, they almost took a touchdown away, but they get it 1 play later anyway. And they'll try to tack on the 13th point right here. And it's up and it is good. 13-7, Texas Tech. And let's take you back to last week and Mike Leach's comments following the 59-43 loss to Texas.
This second year in a row that an Austin resident has through officiating, negatively impacted the football game, the integrity of the football game. I think that's unfortunate. And I think it's disturbing that Austin residents would be involved in this.
Well, the referee was from Austin in that game, and Mike handed down the stiffest penalty ever in Big 12 history. And Bonnie's got more on that. Bonnie?
Well, initially, Leach said he wanted to appeal the fine, but what he didn't realize was that the deadline for doing that was Tuesday night, and he decided on Wednesday. So Tech didn't think they were going to be able to appeal it, but I just spoke with Dan Beebe, the Big 12 commissioner, before the game. He met with Tech's athletic director, Gerald Myers, today. Beebe's in attendance at the game today. They sat down and talked, realized there was a misunderstanding with the communication. Beebe says he will now accept the appeal, and now it's up to the Big 12's appellate board to decide if they want to do that, if they want to take the appeal or not, and there's not really a deadline at the moment, Brad.
Okay, Bonnie, thanks for the update. I saw Commissioner Beebe earlier in press box up here, but I didn't talk to him about it. And that's an update we needed to know. We kiddingly said to Mike the other day, I said, you know, I was going to ask you for a loan, but I guess that's out of the question. At the 4-yard line, DeMarco Murray. Murray, he might take it. Great speed, and he's knocked out of bounds, but he got in to Texas Tech territory. Back-to-back great returns, one by Murray and the other one by Iglesias.
Oklahoma is third in the nation in kickoff returns, and Murray has returned 2 of them for touchdowns.
A penalty marker on the field.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
The big story right now for Oklahoma is that man right there, Sam Bradford, the redshirt freshman quarterback who has been sensational this year, has just been taken out of the ball game, and I think it's because of a concussion that he may have suffered early in the game when he tried to recover or tackle the guy that had recovered a fumble against Oklahoma.
So that block in the back negates another 49-yard kickoff return, this one by Murray, and so they set up shop inside their own 20 instead of in Texas Tech territory. Here's Murray. This time on the ground out to the 26-yard line where Kellen Tillman made the stop. Let's go back to the play that Bob was talking about. Remember, this was on the fumble, and now he's trying to tackle the linebacker, and quarterbacks don't like tackling anybody if they can help it.
But he got hit and landed on pretty good. He looks like he's getting up a little woozy.
Oh, I think you're right. I think that might have been the play.
Yeah. I've seen that look before. I've been
You've
there.
Been that look before.
That look
last
sitting
night
on that bench. I am that look before.
Yeah, you had it last night.
Murray, first down. As we check in with Matt Warner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brad, West Virginia is one of those one-loss teams you were talking about, trying to play their way into the national title game. And this Verizon Wireless updated Cincinnati, trying to take care of business against the Bearcats. That's Pat White from 7 yards out. That's now a 14-10 game. They've never lost at Cincinnati. Oklahoma State's gone to halftime in Waco and up by a couple of touchdowns.
Patrick White, another one of those quarterbacks in the spread that can do so many things with his legs. Chris Brown checks in at tailback for the Sooners, and he'll get the call. Puts both hands around the football, got collared as he got across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Well, this thing started with a bang for Oklahoma's Lindy Holmes. A 63-yard interception return put Oklahoma in front, but Texas Tech got a field goal and then another field goal. One was a 51-yarder, and then they just got a 61-yard pass play down close to Michael Crabtree, and Graham Harrell did the honors on the quarterback sneak for the 1-yard touchdown, and it's Texas Tech 13-7. Brown trying to follow his blockers, those two big guys on the left side, Duke Robinson and Phil Lodeholt, and they are loads, both of them over 350 pounds, but he's about a yard shy, I think, of the first down.
Ness, one of the things you think about too with this, remember we saw the Oregon game the other night when the quarterback Dixon went out in the quarterback, and we saw the whole team just basically fold. Well, this team here is a running football team anyway, Oklahoma. So I'm not saying that losing the quarterback doesn't hurt them. Yeah, it does, but they can still run, and Texas Tech, they're not very good against the run.
Here's a big third down right here for Oklahoma, third and a yard.
He's looking up the scoreboards, trying to get himself mentally back in this ball game.
High backfield with a fullback to lead the way. Brown's got the first down.
I think he was
the
down.
question is, did Halsley trip and have his knee down before he got the handoff?
I think that is right.
That's what they're saying. John Bible's saying bring it back, put it down at the 42. And it's fourth down. Watch this, he trips coming out from under center.
He gets tripped.
His knee is down.
Yeah, he gets tripped by the center or the guard. And
Josh Heupel talking to the number 2 quarterback, who's now the number 1 quarterback. Well, Mike Nall, he's going to hope for a better punt than the last one. Eric Morris waits on the other end. Morris takes it at the 9. And he got a crease. Morris. Nice return out to the 34-yard line. Let's take a look at this rivalry presented by Sonic. Upcoming games, Texas and A&M get together their annual day after Thanksgiving get together on ABC. Georgia and Georgia Tech will be at Bobby Dodd Stadium to watch the Yellow Jackets and the Bulldogs next Saturday. Alabama and Auburn, the Iron Bowl, coming up Saturday, a week from tonight on ESPN at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And Kansas and Missouri, we mentioned they'll settle the North on ABC. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines next week from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Boy, that'll be a scene. Harrell throws complete. Oh, face mask. Danny Amendola made the catch, and Lewis Baker got a whole bunch of face masks.
That's a 15-yarder.
And Brent Venables out to have a word with Baker.
16 on the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So Oklahoma making mistakes. They're starting quarterback out. A fired-up crowd in Lubbock. Could it all add up to, you know what, another upset in college football this year?
Take a look at this. Number 16, that's Baker. You know, defensive guys don't go in trying to tackle you by the face mask, but they just need to get you down. They're grabbing for anything. And if your face mask gets in their hand, they're going to use it.
So back in Oklahoma territory is Texas Tech at the 46. Harrell, little shovel pass just to get out of trouble. Edward Britton gets it out, and he's close to a first down. Going to be about a yard shy. So many weapons.
So many
Great
weapons.
presence of mind there, and I just showed you by Harrell. Keeps his cool back there in the pocket and then just throws that little shovel pass out there and says, go take it for as many as you can get.
Harrell is a redshirt junior. This is his 4th year at the school. He has another year next year. He played last year and did well. This year, he's doing even better.
Long line of quarterbacks that have put up big numbers at the school. And he's the newest in line. Here's the throw to Eric Morris.
And so
I don't
many.
think Morris got anything on that
so
play.
many of the completions for these quarterbacks at Tech are like that one. It's a long handoff, or it's a short pass over the line of scrimmage. I asked the last couple of days, how many of the throws are behind the line of scrimmage or within 5 or 6, 7 yards downfield? And the answer was like 40%.
They actually lost a foot or two, I think, on that last one. And it's going to bring up third down and almost 3, long 2. But hey, it's just third down. Don't worry about it. There's always another down to play.
You got 2 downs to make this.
Yeah. Quick throw, first down and more. Crabtree inside the 30 of Oklahoma.
You just cannot give Crabtree that much room on the outside. If you're going to play him, you better play somebody up close. Look at how much room he has to come down inside. You don't even see a white shirt till after he catches the ball.
And again, now without the huddle, first down at the 28. Harrell taking his time. And whistle, and the first quarter comes to a close. Texas Tech, after the first 15 minutes, leading the number 4 team in the country.
college football is here. Reclam Tech.
All right, Mass Ryder. And the fans behind him in the end zone. And his team in front. Here's another shovel pass. Crawford trying to sidestep the rush. Does pretty well to do so. Got down to about the 25-yard line. So the second quarter starts. Texas Tech trying to pull an upset. Still a long ways to go, Grease, but they're doing everything well, and Oklahoma's not doing things so well. Lose your head there.
Lost my head and everything else. I think obviously the injury to Bradford is the biggest thing so far in the first quarter. They're going to have to adjust. They're going to have to say, all right, we're going to have to win this with Halsley, the backup quarter. Hadn't played much.
No.
We're going to lose our guy that's helped us the whole year, but still, he's got to find a way to win with somebody that you're not comfortable with.
Texas Tech knows that. They can pin their ears back a little bit more on defense. On offense, they always have their ears pinned back. Crawford makes the catch. He's short of the first down by a couple. And Paul, Texas Tech driving right by you down there.
Yeah, they are. You know, and this is a confident football team. These guys, you know, you just sit there and you watch them. They all know exactly what they have to do. They don't care that Oklahoma may be going to the BCS championship game or could go. These guys are really playing pretty good football, starting with that offensive line.
I love seeing you move laterally so well at your advanced age.
I tell you, I need a bucket down here.
At the 20-yard line, 3rd down and 2. Oklahoma doesn't get scored on much when the opposition gets down to that red zone. They're one of the best in the country at preventing scores.
False start, 74 offense.
That's going to be a little bit longer.
Penalty, 3rd down.
And
Grace, did you just see this defense that Oklahoma just put up? They had no one in the middle of the field. They put everybody up near the line of scrimmage. They had nobody deep.
That's why the left tackle jumped, because the quarterback was taking so long to try to get to a checkoff.
Look at this, Bobby. You see that? The only guy you see in the backfield is the official. There they are. They got everybody, 11 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Reed jumped early. Now it's 3rd down and 7. Harrell stands in and waits. Buys himself some time. Given ground. Got a block, a big one. And now throws a little lob pass to Crawford for the first down. How about that?
This is just a great play by the quarterback. I was looking downfield during the whole thing, and everybody was covered. Everybody was covered. For the longest time, the Oklahoma defense had everybody covered. And then finally at the end, because Harrell buys so much time, somebody comes free.
Graham is 7 out of 7 on this drive. And now Texas Tech at the OU 13-yard line, leading 13-7 here in the second quarter. Harrell has it tipped again. Almost intercepted. 3 Sooners had a shot at it. Adrian Taylor's the guy that tipped it, and that could have been a big turnover right there.
Well, that's a good move by a defensive lineman. If you're not going to get there, get your hands up.
You know what, Bob? I'm looking at the guys downfield, and the linebacker was Curtis Lofton was one of them. They could just see the ball coming down. Now, do I jump up and get it? Do I wait on it? What do I do? There are people coming around. They're going to hit me. I'm going to tell you, it was really funny watching these guys in the end zone.
You saw that graphic of what I talked about. Oklahoma stiffens when you get down in that red zone. I don't know if they can hold Texas Tech. 3 more plays here. Here's a lob to the corner. Broken up and almost intercepted by Reggie Smith. Reggie Smith, great coverage on Edward Britton over there in the corner.
There's a look at it. Sometimes they throw it over the top. Sometimes they throw it to the back shoulder. And this time it was going over the top. And Smith made a great play on it.
So now it's 3rd and 10. Both Crawford and Lewis, the 2 running backs in the backfield as Coach Leach looks right past his star wide receiver, number 5, Michael Crabtree. They fake the run and go to the end zone. Touchdown, Crabtree in the corner. They're not going to take that one away from Crabtree.
I'll tell you something, Ness, it's absolutely amazing. Nobody covered him. I'm talking about the leading receiver in the nation, and nobody covered this guy. He ran right below me. I could have knocked the ball down. No, maybe not.
Oklahoma wishes you had. It's about to be 20-7. The extra point is up and good. We got a long way to go, but this Texas Tech team is smelling upset. 12:18 to go in the half. Another touchdown. Harrell to his favorite receiver, and it's 20-7 Texas Tech.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
Let's go back to the touchdown, Grease.
Watch the quarterback, Graham. He's going to look to the center of the field. That's holding the safety to the middle of the field. Then he throws the out route at the corner route to Crabtree. This guy is really something.
So Texas Tech has scored on 4 straight possessions. Harrell has thrown for 1 and run for 1. That capped the 66-yard march in almost 5 minutes. He was almost perfect on that drive throwing the football. This kick's returnable. Murray from the 3 had an excellent return last time. Murray trying to get to the corner and can't. Only got to about the 23-yard line. Pete Richardson made the stop on the kick return.
You know, when you take a look at Michael Crabtree out here, you watch this guy, you know they're going to throw the ball to him. Someone should cover him. He comes out, he runs a post pattern and goes right back into the corner. And look at how wide open he is. They just leave him alone. There are 4 white shirts back there, and nobody covers this guy. Why not him?
If you're just joining us, Joey Halsley at quarterback for Oklahoma. Sam Bradford shaken up earlier. Halsley throwing on the run, incomplete, intended for Malcolm Kelly. And let's see if Bonnie knows more about Sam Bradford than we do.
Well, Brad, not really, because the directive from Bob Stoops is always that injury information has to come through him, so I can't get anything from the trainers. What I can tell you is when Bradford made that tackle a couple drives ago, he came off the field. The trainers were doing those customary concussion tests. I haven't seen the trainers working on anything else on Bradford since then. But think about it. If he's unable to return, 2 quarterback injuries could completely change the BCS standings if Oklahoma loses, and with Dennis Dixon going down and Oregon losing Arizona Thursday night.
Exactly. One guy going down set the stage for Oklahoma to maybe play in the title game, and now with their quarterback on the sideline, they face a fired up Texas Tech team that leads 20-7 with 12 minutes to go in the half. Well, time for our Aflac trivia question. What was the last school to win the national championship after not being ranked in any preseason poll? Now, Kansas has got an opportunity. If they can win out and go all the way, they won again today. They're 11-0. So that's why we ask you that question. And Kansas was not ranked. They were ranked about 40th in the preseason polls if you want to go down that far. Texas Tech's even winning the time of possession. That almost never happens.
That never happens.
And now it's getting loud in here for Halsley.
No time.
Didn't get it off.
Didn't get it off.
Before the snap, delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
This crowd is on fire, and they're usually on fire for their offense, but they know that the noise is going to bug that backup quarterback for Oklahoma.
And that's what I don't understand is, you know, Texas Tech, they're not very good against the run. And why this Oklahoma team didn't, they came out and they threw twice with a backup quarterback. Run the football, you're only 2 scores down.
Halsley trying to get his voice heard over the crowd. Tips, batted in the air and complete.
If you're Oklahoma right now, things can't get much worse. You're on the road, a hostile environment, your starting quarterback is down, and you're up against a team that scores a lot of points. You just have to weather this, get to halftime, or get to your quarterback and just, like Paul said, get something going, get a run game going, get some offense, and get your defense to do something.
Halsley 0 for 4, and another punt coming up. No, like to get into one of these. Finally, he did. Driving Amendola back to the 22. Danny Amendola. And he's out to the 36-yard line. Good return. 60-yard punt. Graham Harrell. He's already run for one and thrown for one, and he's going to get his hands on it again in a minute.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. Visit southwest.com. Hummer, like nothing else. Aflac, ask about it at work. And DLP HD TV. DLP is the official ESPN on ABC HD telecast sponsor of college football.
Red Raider fans got a double dose today. Basketball team played. Coach Knight's team played the Lumberjacks. So Stephen F. Austin won it 60-44. And you can watch that game this morning, then come to the football game tonight. Coach Knight's going to join us sometime in the third quarter. Harrell completes. Slipping is Crabtree as he got to about the 42-yard line. And you look way over there in the suites, and Coach Knight is over there with a whole group of his ex-players from West Point. Ex-players, ex-generals, retired generals,
Professors.
You name it, a whole bunch of.
It's an annual thing that he brings them in. I think they've been doing this 15 years.
Here's Crawford. Aaron Crawford. Good looking run, and now everything's working because the pass is working so well. They've got the lead, and they actually run the ball for 10 yards. So first down, Texas Tech. We asked you the Aflac trivia question. Last time a team in the preseason was not ranked and went on to win the national championship. Coach Ford's team down in Death Valley, Clemson's Tigers in '81. And before that, you got to go all the way back to LSU. They won the national championship under Billy Cannon and company in '58 when they weren't ranked in the preseason. Of course, LSU ranked #1 right now, the BCS poll, and Kansas is going to move to 2 as the throw's complete, and it's going to be close to a first down to Grant Walker. The surprises, of course, in the Big 12 this year are not Oklahoma or Texas. It's what the North half has done, including Kansas and Missouri. And Kansas has never been 11-0, but they are now after their win today.
Yeah, look at some of this stuff.
46 points a game, plus 20 in turnover margin.
Offense second in the nation.
And so
turnover margin.
Kansas is going to be #2. You don't know how high Missouri is going to move up, especially if Oklahoma doesn't come from behind in this game. Harrell over the middle. Oh, Amendola a little bit behind him, but it looked like it got there a little quick, and Danny didn't see it coming. It's incomplete. Let's check in an update in New York. Here's Matt Weiner. Matt.
All right, Brad, here's our nominee for the Pontiac game-changing performance. Michigan State had already trimmed a 17-point Penn State lead down to 3 when they went on an 80-yard touchdown drive in the fourth quarter, including that fake punt. And this touchdown pushed over the game winner by Jehu Polkrick. Check out this season's best Pontiac game-changing performances at ESPN.com. Search Pontiac.
Boy, a nice season for Coach D'Antonio's Spartans.
That's for sure.
Putting some life back in football in East Lansing.
And in Illinois.
That's right. Coach Zook another win today.
Great job.
Harrell, 3rd down and 1, buys himself some time. Now he's going to go deep. Got a man out there, incomplete. Overshot him. Crabtree was there, but so was DJ Wolf. And Gerald McCoy got a pretty good hit on Harrell. Bonnie?
Hey, Brad, when you talk to Coach Knight, ask him how bad he wanted Crabtree.
Yeah.
Dana Holgerson, the offensive coordinator for Tech, was telling us yesterday that while Leach was recruiting Crabtree for football, Knight wanted for basketball because Michael was actually one of the top 50 hoops players in Texas a couple years ago. But it turns out, even though he would have liked to play it in the NBA, he's only 6'2". He knew he had a better shot playing pro football.
And he was not a point guard. He was a 2-guard, and there are a lot of 2 guards playing in the NBA. But he'll be playing in the NFL, and guarantee that. OU takes a timeout. Oklahoma trailing with 9:50 left in the half by 13.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
Second time tonight that Texas Tech will go on 4th down. 4th down and about a yard. Extra lineman in there for the Red Raiders. They've got 6 offensive linemen in a short yardage set for them. They don't have many short yardage sets. And now whistle stops play.
Timeout, Texas Tech. That's our second timeout of the half.
Well, coming out of a timeout, you usually don't see a timeout. And this is a short one. 4th down and a yard coming up. Our Pacific Life game summary, and a big part of the game is the fact that the Oklahoma Sooners don't have the nation's leading passer, pass efficiency wise. On a fumble, Sam Bradford making a tackle on the linebacker. Williams goes down, kind of ends up in a pile there. Very slow to get up. Meanwhile, his counterpart on the other side, Graham Harrell, going to the corner to Michael Crabtree, his 21st touchdown catch of the year. Harrell's also run from a yard out. And it is 20-7 in another shocker on this wacky college football season of 2007. A long way to go, but you got to wonder, guys, and Bonnie, if Oklahoma can do anything. They haven't taken a snap in Texas Tech territory, and now they got their backup quarterback in there.
Well, the first series of the game, they got an interception, and that's all the points. Their defense has scored. Sometimes when that happens, the offense kind of lets down a little bit, especially when you lose your starting quarterback. Now they're in trouble. They got to get something going offensively.
Meanwhile, the Red Raiders have 23 of 39 in Oklahoma territory. Just under 10 minutes left in the first half. 4th down and a yard. And the quick pass is complete. First down. Guess who?
Boy, I'll tell you what, this was a great throw because he had to throw over those big linemen, and he has Crabtree just on a quick slant. Boom, boom. And look at how quick this ball gets there. I mean, there's outstanding coverage by Reggie Smith, but he couldn't do anything about the pass.
Saw both receivers on that side ran a little slant, a little look in. So he was just going to get the ball and throw it to whichever one he felt was open.
Now they go back to their trip set to the left of Harrell on a first down, but he's coming back the other way, in and out of the hands of Grant Walker, and Walker took a lick from Reggie Smith, incomplete. Mike Leach calling the plays over there on the sideline, looking at that sheet. Dana Holgerson is listed as the offensive coordinator, but you know, saying that Mike Leach has an offensive coordinator is like saying Rachel Ray has a private chef, you know, or something like that.
Look how small that sheet is he's looking from too.
He's got better eyes than we do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, lots of guys that call plays got these big boards, color-coded, laminated, and the whole works. He's got a little piece of paper down there with some plays written on it.
2nd and 10. Harrell winds and throws complete to Crabtree, again inside the 20. First down, Red Raiders.
You know, all you do is watch Crabtree run, and you talk about getting away from people. Watch this and find a hole. Look at this. He just drifts back to the outside, and there's still, again, when I see someone tackle him that quick, but they're really not on him.
You know, this kid is a redshirt freshman, played quarterback in high school and point guard.
Harrell, a high school quarterback for his dad, who's a very successful high school coach. Sam, his dad, one of the most successful high school coaches probably in the state of Texas. And you can tell this kid's been around football his whole life. I'm talking about Graham Harrell, the quarterback. As he looks down at that wristband, he's already found Crabtree 7 times for 120 yards and a touchdown. And there's his numbers of 222. 120 of that has gone to Michael Crabtree. At the Oklahoma 15-yard line. 2nd down and 9. Comes up, shifts some guys around, has a word with his center. Oklahoma brings some delayed pressure, and he throws complete. First down to Morris. Touchdown!
He reads coverage so well.
Eric Morris from 15 yards out. Everybody getting in the act. That's Morris's 9th touchdown catch of the year.
He goes up and he just sees it's single coverage over here, checks to something, runs off the outside guy, a little out route by the slot man, gets it to him on time where he can run it into the end zone.
I thought somebody was going to come up on Morris to try to force him, and he just sliced his way to the end zone. Nobody got a hand on him until the very end. It's 27-7. Oh boy, Oklahoma's in some trouble. Graham Harrell's just warming up to Eric Morris. 2nd touchdown toss of the night for Harrell. And Texas Tech is stunning the 4th-ranked team in the country.
IBM presents the 25 greatest players ever. Number 8, Bo Jackson. With a unique blend of power and speed, Jackson ran through SEC defenses for a career average of nearly 7 yards per carry. He was twice a Bowl MVP, then took home the Heisman Trophy his senior season. IBM, getting it done.
Number 8, Bo Jackson.
Some pretty good players coming out.
I'd say. Alex Trulick get a kick. The guns are up at Jones AT&T Stadium for sure tonight. DeMarco Murray from about the 1. Got across the 25, and that's about it. Charbonnet down there on the special teams makes the stop. 24-yard kick return. So the greatest players, IBM 25 greatest players, Staubach and Bo Jackson, the last two. And it makes me think, you know, I haven't seen Herschel's name up there yet.
Yeah.
He might be in the top 7.
He might be in the top 7.
Number 2 and number 1 announced on New Year's Day on ABC. Brad Nessler, Bob Gracie, Paul McGuire, Bonnie Bernstein in Lubbock, Texas, where we're watching a shocker with 9:11 to go in the half. Joey Halsley in at quarterback, throwing on the run. Completes this one. And about a 9-yard gain to Iglesias. And he needs a couple of those, Joey does, to try to find himself because they're going to need him.
Oklahoma offensively coming in was the 3rd scoring offense in the nation, averaging 45 points. Their receivers are some of the best. Their offensive line is very good. 3 running backs are good. 2 of their tight ends are outstanding. So they've got the people around him. Halsley just needs to make some plays.
That was his first completion. Good for a 9-yard gain. Out to the 35. 2nd down and a yard. Now they can go back to the ground. They're going to get the first down on the ground with Chris Brown. So they'll move the sticks with 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Race for the Chase concludes tomorrow afternoon. NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, Ford 500 at Homestead, Miami on ABC tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Reese, you can get home in time almost to take that in, can't you?
Not quite.
Not quite. It's hard to get out of Lubbock and get all the way to Miami.
Yeah, that's true. All the way to Homestead.
Yeah, that's right.
Although there used to be an Air Force base down there, could have flown right in there.
That would have helped. Here's a first down run and a good one by Chris Brown. And Rajon Henley made the stop. Got a who am I for you. I'm a 2-time All-American Red Raider and the first player to start on offense and defense in the Super Bowl. That's who it is right there, E.J. Holland, Texas Tech center, and he's at the game, and Bonnie's going to be with them coming up shortly. Great player here in the late 50s, up to 60, and then went on to play for Hank Stram's Kansas City Chiefs in a couple of Super Bowls. 2nd down and 5. Oklahoma has got it out to their 43-yard line. They're still trying to get Texas Tech territory. 2 tight ends in there, Eldridge and Finley. They haven't used the tight end yet. That's one of them, Finley, in motion. They'll keep it on the ground. That's the safe play. And he's going to be short of the first down. Let's check in with Bonnie.
Well, EJ's been sitting right behind the Texas Tech bench watching this walloping. How much has the defense here been able to take advantage of Bradford being out, EJ?
Well, you know, we have a real good game plan, and it just takes each individual takes care of their own part, and you know, whoever comes in, they're just going to take over.
I know you love Ruffin McNeil. How has he been able to revamp the defense since taking over after that Oklahoma State pounding?
He has so much determination and grit, and he really communicates with the players real well, and they understand his enthusiasm. And he explains everything real good, and he's just a wonderful guy.
Speaking of the defense, they do a great job. A loss on the play.
I got one more thing for EJ, because he played against McGuire in the NFL. So, you know, is he really as tough as he makes himself out to be? Come on.
This guy was so tough that he'd go out there and ruin tires as he went out there all the time, because he was always so tough on the cars and everything else. And when he'd punt the ball, I mean, they had to replace footballs all the time because he'd kick it so hard that he'd bust them sometimes.
All right, so I guess we actually have to believe McGuire now when he says he's tough, guys. First time for everything, right?
There is a pretty good punt. EJ, what a great player. And Paul, I know you said he used to be just a little bit nuts on the special teams himself.
He is nuts. I'm looking at it. Just stay right there because I'm going to jump down and whip you. I'm going to whip you. He still thinks he's tough. And I'll tell you something. He's one of the toughest guys that ever played the game.
What was his line when he ran down on kicks and punts?
First time I ever saw the guy, and I swear to honest to God, I'm on a kickoff return team, and he was on the kickoff team as L1, and all I heard was, "Yee-ha!" And they scared everybody on our team.
He was my center in a couple of Pro Bowls. Not in Hawaii, but would used to be in LA and all that other stuff. He was a character.
Texas Tech with the ball back in a big lead. Here in the second quarter, working from their own 16-yard line. The crowd is just in a frenzy. They don't care if it's offense or defense. They're cheering on every play. Here's a lob pass completed to Crawford. And Crawford got about 6 out of it. DeMarcus Granger made the stop. Texas Tech started kind of slow. When they got it going, it started with that 51-yard field goal.
Look at this.
And they didn't even gain anything on that drive. And then it was field goal, and 3 touchdowns in a row.
You know what's really amazing about this football team sitting this close to it? When he's moving around Harold in the backfield, all of these guys, Bob, all turn upfield. They go towards the goal line, even if they're the short guys. I mean, they're always moving away from him to give him some place to throw the football.
He's been so calm back there in the pocket. He doesn't get frustrated, even when he has to do this, and he'll probably throw this one away. And does. So Graham Harrell, he knows playing quarterback's not an easy job.
Coach Leach allows the quarterback to check from goal line to goal line, and says that if I call a bad play in from the sideline, get us into something good, get us into something that's going to work. And you know, that's the quarterback's main responsibility, and I think that's the toughest part about playing in this system is just making sure you're moving your unit and getting into good plays.
You know, I said before the game with ESPN radio that he'd throw it 75 times. He's thrown it 40 times already.
Yeah, and
I'm way under. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This is the way they move it. This is the way they play football.
This time he got some pressure in the pocket, but he found Crabtree for the first down.
For as much as Harold throws, guys, there is actually a student trainer assigned to him during practice who keeps a clicker on him, basically keeps a pitch count on him, because he will throw up to 220, 225 balls a day just to keep his arm sharp. We were talking to the coaches about it, and he said, you know, for him, that's just for stamina purposes, because you never want him to lose that sharpness. They'll back off every once in a while, but Greasy, thinking about throwing 200 times every day in practice, that's what Harold does.
Got to be a young man to do that.
Here he goes for number 42, and it's complete to Crawford, who broke a tackle, and another, and out across the 40-yard line, and another Texas Tech first down.
I'm going to tell you something. When you take a look at this defense, look at all the guys with their hands on their hips. These guys are really tired. They're running them crazy because they've got to cover everybody, and these guys are moving deep, and even the short guys are facing upfield.
Well, they can't get off the field, Oklahoma defensively, and when their offense gets out there, they can't sustain a drive to give the defense a break.
Look at the first down discrepancy. Man, oh man. Here's a quick throw. Crabtree's got blockers in front of him. He's got another first down, and now it's just chunks of yardage through the air.
Right here.
It's his 9th catch, Grease. This one good for 15 more yards.
He was averaging a little over 10 catches a game. He may end up with about 20 in this one.
He might have 10 before halftime. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Look at those numbers already. Wow. Inside the Oklahoma 45. Harrell waits, gets great protection. Throws the out, completes it to Britton, and he's run out of bounds just short of the first down again. Coming up, the Capital One halftime report. John and Craig and Doug will kind of check in. They'll talk about this one. They'll have highlights of LSU. Kansas and Missouri are currently ranked ahead of Oklahoma, and they're going to have a big battle next Saturday night. And they'll also talk about Ohio State and Michigan, who battled it out earlier today, and Ohio State won it. That's all coming up. The Capital One halftime reports in about 4 minutes and change. Brent Venables, a defensive coordinator, trying everything. Nothing's working so far for the Sooner defense.
You got to give a little credit to this offensive line. As much as they throw, the few amount of sacks they get.
Second down and short, and that one batted. That's about the 4th batted pass, and I think Allen Davis has hit 3 of those already. Number 95, and we get an update from Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brad, time to check our prime time pulse. Sooners in trouble in Lubbock, 27-7 there on ESPN. West Virginia trying to play its way into a national title and at least the Big East Championship, leading at Cincinnati 21-10. ESPN2 has Clemson and BC for a spot in the ACC Championship. Tigers holding on to a 7-3 lead.
All right, Matt, here's a pump fake on 3rd and short. Screen pass coming back the other way. Crawford lost the ball, and Oklahoma, I think, has got it. Corey Bennett, the big guy, looked like he got there. And he's got the football. Well, only 2 mistakes today. One on an interception return for a touchdown, and now a fumble recovery has stopped the bleeding momentarily for the Oklahoma defense.
And Oklahoma really has a shot here because they have 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go in this second quarter. And all they got to do is keep the ball on the ground and keep it away from Texas Tech.
Well, it was a good-looking move by Crawford. Maybe tried to make one move too many. Kind of sideswiped his own blocker.
His own man locks it out.
Yeah, he was trying to push his lineman on the back and cut behind him, and that's what knocked the ball out. And Corey Bennett, the junior out of San Antonio, made the recovery. And Crawford is really slow coming to the sideline.
Crawford is a true freshman that took over the halfback spot for Shannon Woods. Shannon Woods last year had 75 receptions and was the Big 12 total offense leader last year. This year, I think he's been in the doghouse is a nice way to put it.
That's about the best way you can put it. And it's pretty deep in the doghouse, it seems.
And he's the only dog in it.
Crawford, maybe it's cramping. That's what you'd kind of hope for. It was about 66 degrees at game time, but they've run a lot of plays, that offense of Texas Tech. And now Oklahoma's got it at the 40-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining, 4:12 left in the half. Halsley's going to hand it off to DeMarco Murray. Murray broke through the first wave, and he got about 9 yards. So Murray's doing his job. He had a great kick return. He's had some good runs. But now they're trailing by 20 points with 4 minutes left in the quarter.
You know what's really surprising to me is DeMarco Murray has not been in the ball game that much. I mean, the first 2 series of downs, he was not in the ball game, but every time he touches the ball, it's 7-8 yards.
63 total yards is all that Oklahoma has mustered so far. Murray stays in there. Gets the call behind Eldridge, and he's got the first down. So that'll stop the clock momentarily to move the sticks, and at the 49-yard line, another Oklahoma first down. So Paul said they got plenty of time to work with. The Big 12 bowl eligible teams, obviously Kansas with a perfect record. They've never been 11-0 before. Missouri won today. They're 10-1. Those 2 teams clash in Kansas City next Saturday night on ABC. Oklahoma with Texas right on their heels. And Oklahoma in a heap of trouble out here in West Texas in Lubbock. Wide receivers have not been a factor at all tonight. Halsley play action. Throws to his fullback out of the backfield, and he's got a first down, and he's taking some Red Raiders with him, and that's Dane Zaslaw. Big guy who we saw score a touchdown on a pass reception earlier this year.
That's only the 3rd reception for Zaslaw right here. 3rd reception on the year for the big fullback. He doesn't get to play a lot. Usually he's a blocker when he's in there.
He's got him a first down, and now Oklahoma driving into Texas Tech territory at the 34-yard line. Plenty of time left in this quarter as Halsley throws complete. And Bob, that pass he threw to Iglesias, and there's another one right there. A little while ago I said it seemed like now he's got a little bit of a rhythm at least.
The more a quarterback gets in the game, this kid hasn't played. He only threw 9 balls before getting into action tonight, so he hasn't played in a game a lot. The more you get in, the more comfortable you feel.
Played at Golden West Community College a couple of seasons ago. Last year threw 2 passes all year. As Bob said, was not expected to play tonight, obviously. Sam Crawford out with what we feel is a concussion. but we're not sure. DeMarco Murray now just taking guys with him down inside the 22-yard line. Another Oklahoma first down. And again, one of the big plays of the game on a fumble earlier. Sam Bradford trying to make a tackle on Marlon Williams, who had recovered the fumble, and Williams kind of gave him a stiff arm and a chops, and then he got piled on. And when he got up, when he got to the sideline, you could see it looked like the house had the lights on, but nobody was home.
Yeah, and then, you know, you teach these quarterbacks how to get rid of the ball, how to throw it here, how to read coverage, how to do this. You ought to teach them when things are coming your way, when there's an interception, how to tackle or get out of the way. Let the guy go. We'd rather have you for the game of the season than lose you.
Halsley going to the end zone too deep, intended for Iglesias, and he threw that one out of the back of the end zone. Well, we got a lot more football coming up on ESPN on Monday night. Monday Night Football continues. And it will be Vince Young leading the Tennessee Titans into battle against Jay Cutler and the Denver Broncos. Monday Night Football on ESPN, 8:30 Eastern Time. Coverage starts at 7, though, with Monday Night Countdown. Vince, one of our top 25 players of all time in college football. And Oklahoma's going to take a timeout. They're down to 1. That's Josh Heupel, former star quarterback, All-American with Oklahoma in his day, and he'll have some things to say to Joey Halsley over there on the sideline. Let's take a look at our timeline presented by Sports Authority. There's some coaches that are on the hot seat in this conference. It's been the year of the receiver, including a bunch of guys we got on the field for Texas Tech. Colorado, a notable upset, obviously the only team that beat Oklahoma on a last-second field goal. And really the story of the Big 12 is the resurgence of the North Division. Missouri and Kansas, between them, they have 21 wins. And usually when you're talking about Kansas and Missouri, you're talking about basketball, not football. So Coach Pinkel and Coach Mangino have just done marvelous jobs with those two programs in the North. And they'll battle it out next Saturday night on ABC, and then the winner of that one will go on to the Big 12 championship. We thought against Oklahoma, but there's a little bit of a fly in the soup about all that right now.
Yeah, you know who's coming alive here is Texas.
Yep.
If Oklahoma loses here and then goes against Oklahoma State,
you never know. Murray takes it down to the 16-yard line. Marlon Williams made the stop, pickup of 6 for DeMarco Murray, who's having sensational season, leads the team in rushing with 670 yards, but they've got kind of a three-headed thing back there. Chris Brown, Alan Patrick, and DeMarco Murray share a lot of the load. Murray is the guy right now that is starting to emerge as the star, number 7.
Well, he was coming into this game, he was averaging over 6 yards a carry, and he's the guy that should have been in that backfield the entire game.
3rd down and 4. They'll give it to him again. Can he get to the first down? Yes, he can. And he's got it 1st and goal as he puts his head down into Darcel McBath at about the 5-yard line.
You know, the interesting thing about him when you watch him run, right now Oklahoma with a new quarterback who can't throw the ball very well downfield. He's all of his passes have been short except for the one he threw a little while ago that went out of the end zone. But DeMarco Murray is the guy that the Tech knows is going to get the ball, but yet he still picks up 7 and 8 yards every time he touches it.
You know what Oklahoma would like to do right now is get a touchdown, but take about 1 minute and 35 seconds to do it.
Exactly. Use the time on the clock so the Red Raiders offense can't get any more.
1st and goal at the Texas Tech 5. Murray straight up the left side and got down to about the 1. And a big pile of black jerseys waiting for him. They're still dragging on him.
That's a good thing, Ness. That's exactly what you asked for. All right, let's run the clock off. You're going to give it inside of a minute when you run the next play.
And we're down very close to the 1-minute mark, remaining 2nd quarter. Oklahoma scored first on a Lindy Holmes interception return of 63 yards. They haven't scored since then. 27 unanswered Texas Tech points to have a 20-point cushion here in the final 50 seconds. 10th play of the Oklahoma drive. Murray, the tailback, the tight end in motion. 2nd and goal. Murray, second man through, and he's dropped for a loss. Victor Hunter made first contact, the middle linebacker. Great penetration here, guys.
You just take a look at it. You're going to see Victor Hunter. He really just gets through, but nobody blocked him. They got more guys in the middle of the field than they had blockers to block, and that left Victor Hunter wide open. Watch him. He's not going to really be blocked. He just skips right around everybody, and he gets into the backfield, knowing that DeMarco Murray was going to carry the ball.
And that was the first negative carry for DeMarco Murray on that drive.
Well, everybody in the ballpark knew that Oklahoma was going to run it. It would have been a perfect time for a little play-action pass.
Now it's probably too late. They take the timeout, Oklahoma, their final one. They've got 3rd and goal, 27 seconds remaining. If they don't get it here, they've obviously got time to either bring out the field goal unit or go for it with 27 seconds remaining.
If I'm going to give the ball to DeMarco Murray, I'm going to let him get on the edge. When I mean the edge, outside the tackle. Not a big wide sweep, but let him get a little bit of running room to the outside because he's powerful enough to get himself into the end zone.
You see Ruffin McNeil, the defensive coordinator, trying to get his Red Raiders to come up with a goal line stand. And now Murray will flank Halsley in the shotgun as it appears that Oklahoma might put it in the air on 3rd and goal. Halsley to the end zone, tipped, incomplete, intended. Iglesias got a hand on it. Chris Parker was there covering. And Oklahoma's going to go for 3.
This is a huge win for the Red Raider defense.
Iglesias runs to the post. The ball's a little bit high. That was catchable.
Its ball was a little bit late, too, because he was open and waiting for the ball. And by the time it got there, then the defensive back, Parker, had closed.
Garrett Hartley, 7 out of 9 on the year. Hayes McEachern will hold it. 20-yard field goal attempts is up and good. So Oklahoma got something out of it. They certainly wanted 7. They're going to have to settle for 3. And it's 27-10 with 19 seconds remaining. This week in college football, 25 years ago. You look back, it was undefeated. SMU used a throwback lateral on a kickoff with 17 seconds left. They stayed undefeated, edging Texas Tech in the Miracle on 4th Avenue in Lubbock. That lateral to Bobby Leach. He took it 91 yards as time expired. The Mustangs went on to finish 11-0-1. They finished number 2 in the polls. And can you believe that that was 25 years ago? National Football Foundation gives us those great looks back and reminds us of some of the great plays, and we try to put them together for you, put things in perspective, and make you feel old.
Their dinner is coming up this December. I think it's December the 3rd in New York. I think it's the 4th. They're going to honor the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame inductees. Joe Paterno is going in.
Right.
And
Joe was going to go in last year before the knee injury on the sideline against Wisconsin.
It's at the Waldorf, and if you've never been there, it's something you've got to do before you die, because you've got like 3,000 men in tuxedos.
That's what I really want to see.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm glad I'm doing basketball.
They've just started allowing some ladies to come,
okay,
which makes
good.
it nice. Yeah.
I'll give everybody my best. I'm sure I'll be somewhere doing hoops that night. Hartley to kick. Edward Britton and Detron Lewis will wait on the other end. And both of them are there. It's Britton at the goal line. Britton flags down. Probably going to be an illegal block on the return with just 14 seconds left. You would think that Texas Tech would take a knee and head to the locker room.
All right. Let me ask you a question.
Number 10 on the return team. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Does Graham Harrell know how to take a knee?
No. Don't you think that they could get the ball to Crabtree out on the flank and let him run?
Well,
for a long ways for a touchdown.
That guy thinks that way. I know that.
Yeah.
And Coach Leach, you see his right arm. You might be able to, with a wrapping around it. Broke his arm recently in a bicycle accident. Asked him yesterday if he's got a new bike. Said no, we had to fix it up a little bit though. He had ice on his arm all day when we were talking to him yesterday.
Yeah.
And they are not going to take a knee. They're going to throw it out to Eric Morris. You might as well see if you can throw 50 passes before the half's over. That's going to end the half. 47 pass attempts by that young man in the first half. And his numbers look like this: 30 of 47, 286 and 2, and he ran for a score. And he's heading to that locker room where all the student body is as we get out of Bonnie.
All right, Coach Stoops, what is Sam Bradford's
They're checking him. He's got somewhat of a concussion. It's just how bad, we don't know. They're checking him out right now.
What's the likelihood we'll see him back in the second half?
Well, I'm sure it's not very likely.
Okay, defensively, what needs to change in order for you to contain Tech's offense in the second half?
Well, we got to come up with some third down stops. We've had a lot of third downs where we haven't converted and been able to get off the field, and fourth downs. And then the offense got to stay on the field a little bit as well.
Bob, thank you.
Well, a team with the number 4 club in the country. Bob Stoops' team is in a heap of trouble at halftime. 27-10 as we head to New York. John, Craig, and Doug, fellas.
All right. You're watching ESPN's Rivalry Week, presented by Remington.
They love me.
ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. And what's a shocking first half so far, it's Texas Tech 27, 4th ranked Oklahoma 10. Last year in Norman, Texas Tech led 24-17. Oklahoma came back to win, but if the hopes of the Sooners are going to rest on number 15, he's going to have to play better than he did in the first half, because if you just joined us, Sam Crawford, the Oklahoma quarterback who came in leading the country in pass efficiency, is out with a concussion suffered early in this ball game, and Joey Halsley now is the guy that's going to have to try to lead the Sooners back from behind. Oklahoma will have the football first from the goal line. Iglesias. And Iglesias looking for the corner, got it. And out across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. Well, I don't know. You know, you'd hate to see a team lose their starting quarterback in a game this big when Oklahoma had a chance to get to the Big 12 or maybe the national championship.
Well, I talked to Bob Stoops before the game, and they weren't even looking at that. All the other pundits and media do that.
Right.
He was looking at this ball game. It's too bad, but I'm impressed the way Texas Tech is playing. But Oklahoma's got to come back, overcome this adversity, and win it. And win it with a backup quarterback. That's what they do. They've got a lot of guys around him on offense.
Here's Halsley coming up throwing on first down, and it's incomplete. As we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, looks like this. A lot of yardage through the air. Texas Tech total yardage 312, 284 through the air, including 47 passes thrown by Graham Harrell, the quarterback of the Red Raiders. Boy, 35 passing yards is all for Oklahoma. And now Joey Halsley has already thrown a pass here to open up the third quarter. Incomplete to bring up the second down and 10. There's the play action. Wants to throw on the run again. This time he completes it to Malcolm Kelly. That's a first catch for Kelly so far today. Let's check in with Bonnie.
I'll tell you, Brad, when the Tech players were walking out of the locker room, you could just tell by how animated they were, how energetic they were, that they smell the upset. And I asked Mike Leach how huge that goal line stand was at the end of the first half that held the Sooners to a field goal. He said that was phenomenal. That is now the character of our defense. We got the momentum, and we plan on sticking with it. Ruffin McNeil told me they plan to keep on blitzing Halsey as much as they wanted to blitz Bradford.
See if they do here on 3rd and 4. Big third down conversion, caught, but it's short of the first down.
Yep.
Completed out to about the 42. So Halsley completes it, but it's for only 3 yards as we check in with Paul McGuire.
Well, I'll tell you, from where I'm looking, you know, I'm looking for my horse is what I'm looking for. I got everything. I got the mask, I got the cape, I got the hat, but I got to get a horse. The guy, he won't bring the horse back.
A man without a horse.
I don't blame him for not bringing it back.
I wish that mask would have stayed on a little better. It was an improvement.
Well, wait a minute. All right. Is that better?
That's good.
Let me tell you what. I'm getting used to this cape, though. I kind of like the cape.
Not surprising.
I think you ought to wear that out tonight if we ever get out of here. It's going to be tomorrow morning before we get out of here, that's for sure. So Nall to punt. And what Oklahoma didn't want to do is have a 3-and-out to open up the third quarter. Bad snap. Nall now picks it up. Texas Tech's going to take over on downs.
It looked like it was a fake punt, and it was a bad snap.
Lewis Baker was the up guy, and now here's a golden opportunity for the Red Raiders again. Oh boy, and Lewis Baker is trying to explain it to Coach Stoops, and I don't think he's listening.
Watch the snap. Goes to Baker, number 16. He wasn't expecting it, and everybody else was. You can see the guys looking back for a pass. Everybody not on the same page. That is not good, especially first possession coming out the second half.
First down, Harrell from the 34. Waits, fires over the middle, completes it. Amendola's got it. And it's a first down. Texas Tech. Curtis Lofton made the stop. There's pass number 48, completion number 31. And now the crowd is just incensed again. They don't care if it's the defense or the offense out there. They're going to make noise. That's all there is to it.
They're beating Oklahoma, and they're going to make noise. They won. They beat Oklahoma here 2 years ago. That's
right.
The only time they've beaten them in the last 6-7 years.
And that was on kind of a disputed play at the final play of the ball game. Here they're dominating right now. Harrell over the middle, completes it. Eric Morris, who has a touchdown catch, and he gets it inside the 15, close to the 14-yard line. Lendy Holmes made the stop. Now that catch before Eric Morris just caught that one was Danny Amendola's 100. So now there's two guys with over 100 catches on this sheet, Crabtree and Amendola. And that's only happened one other time. Jason Phillips and James Dixon at Houston each caught over 100, and that was back in 1988.
And that was what, a run and shoot style of offense too.
Here's a handoff to Crawford, and he's got a first down at the 10-yard line. We're going to welcome in. I'm going to move. You don't usually move the winningest coach in college basketball to your right, but I had to for Coach Knight, who joins us here in the booth. Bob, you got a win today in basketball. It's a doubleheader day here for the Red Raider fans.
Well, we played pretty good defense this afternoon, Brad, and I've seen some really good defense that we played here tonight also.
Well, this is almost like basketball on grass, what we got going on here with Texas Tech.
That's what the Texas coaches call us when they play us.
At the 10-yard line, first and goal, Harrell throws, caught inside the 5. It's Morris, and Morris down to about the 3-yard line. And Mike Leach, this Coach Knight would be a huge feather in his cap and a huge win tonight. I think hold on to this thing.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for us, particularly the way they, after the start they had with the bad pass and the interception touchdown, and it puts us in a position where we'll have a chance to go to a pretty good bowl if we can win this ball game.
They would be 8-4 and 4-4 in conference play. Last year it was the Inside Bowl, an overtime win over Minnesota. But this would be a huge way to end the regular season for 17 seniors. Crawford up the middle, touchdown! On the ground of all things. The second rushing touchdown of the night, won by the quarterback, and now Aaron Crawford's got one. (33-10) with the extra point upcoming. Alex Terlicka, extra point is good. 34-yard drive in 5 plays.
There was a foul up on the punt team by Oklahoma that set them up in great field position, gave them the good field position, got it down there, ran it in for a touchdown.
This telecast of ESPN College Football on ABC HD is presented by DLP HD TV. Sooners, their heads down, their team down in a huge hole, and one of their starters, Allen Davis, still down on the field, just sort of collapsed at the end of that last play, and he's playing in there for Austin English, who's out with a hairline fracture in his leg. He's probably never played this many snaps, and he's probably never chased a quarterback 50 sometimes, just over 2 quarters. Coach, I asked you about your game today, and you had something to say about the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. Tell us that.
Well, when Bob said that it's a really tough thing to make an error at the beginning of the second half in football that particularly sets up another team to score, and I told our team at the half today we had a 9-point lead, And I said, now that first 5 minutes, we can get control of the game. And being outscored 11-2 didn't get the job done for us.
Did you call a timeout?
No, I let them work their way out of it, and we went on from there.
Talking like a football coach, you know, our mutual friend, Cam Cameron, told me on the way out here that way back when you were thinking about going in and being a football coach instead of a basketball coach. And the way you decided to be a basketball coach is because in football they had 7 officials, and in basketball they only had 2.
I said I'd rather be robbed by 2 guys than 7.
You might not have had 892 wins at this stage of your life, though, if you'd have gone in as a football coach. Well, you're doing a special thing, Coach. You got some of your old players from Army in for the whole weekend, huh?
Well, we've had this reunion for 12 or 14 years, and you guys were great to come to dinner with us last night. They were talking about that today. They listen and watch, both of you, and all those guys can think back to when Bob was playing and they were winning the Super Bowl, and it was just great last night. And then today it was the same thing. They presented me with a book today with letters from all the players and all the people that have been associated with me or I with them over the years. It's probably the neatest thing I've ever received.
You've been doing this for 15 years?
Just about, I think, 12 to 15 years. And
you had generals and colonels and professors and
players,
lots of players.
Oh yeah, guys that have been in Vietnam and Iraq, and one of the guys that's here was a regimental commander in the first Iraqi war. Another one flew a year's worth of missions in a helicopter in Vietnam. And
about 50 guys, is that about?
Yeah,
right?
about 50 of them are back.
And he knew everybody's name. That was the amazing thing.
There was a story
and he
about
knew
everybody.
A story about everybody too.
Well, I had a chance to talk with him today for the first time really in a long time about just what having coached at West Point meant to me, and just to have been a part of something like that. I told them that when I went through basic training in the Army, I first of all played baseball, then I played fast pitch softball, and when I reported to West Point, I was the least prepared PFC in the history of the United States Army.
Oh boy, and the other night it was just like the old coach would say. One of your players, I think it was Mike or somebody, said, Coach, what about tomorrow? And you said, wait a minute. Have I asked for questions yet? That was the best line of the. Have I asked for questions yet? Well, as you see, they're carting off the injured player, Alan Davis. And it appeared to be his right leg that they've been working on, although he looks completely gassed and kind of just collapsed on the field when he went down. So to lose another starter, you lose a quarterback in Sam Bradford in the first half, and now to lose their starting defensive end, and you talk about the wheels kind of coming off the number 4 team in the country. Coach, I know you got to run. You want to go back to your guys. We'll kind of say goodbye, but I know you're heading to Alaska, though, right?
We're going to go to Alaska to play in the shootout up there on Tuesday, and somebody asked me, one of the writers from Anchorage called me and said, Coach, would you name your best moments in the 2 times you've been here before? And I said, well, our record is 2-4. There are not a lot of best moments when we've come up there to play.
How about fishing?
Well, fishing has been great. I mean, I could be Alaska's premier promoter of fishing.
So a couple of good moments, or I remember some good fishing trips between games.
It was better than the basketball.
There's a good field up there. You see a lot of those games on ESPN. Coach, thanks a lot for being with us.
You two are great for college sports, and I enjoy being here.
Thanks a lot, Coach, and thanks for having us at the dinner the other night. That was awesome.
Every time we come to Lubbock, we're looking you up.
Thanks again, Bob. Winning as coach in college basketball history, Bob Knight. Let's check in with Matt Weiner, New York. Matt.
Our nominee for the AT&T ESPN All-America Player of the Week, Missouri receiver Jeremy Maclin set an NCAA freshman record for all-purpose yards. He had 360 just today and 3 touchdowns in Mizzou's big win over Kansas State. Text the word VOTE to 87654 on your AT&T wireless telephone to cast your vote. You could win a trip to the national championship. He's still running.
He's still running, and we might have a candidate for you before this one's over from Texas Tech. Here's DeMarco Moreau trying to cut it outside. Got a block from his quarterback. They don't want to lose a quarterback on a block. They'll be out of quarterbacks.
You're right. He blocked him high, too. Go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to say, Halsey didn't do anything to sacrifice his body. He went in there, kind of flinched, ducked his shoulder, and you notice what I don't understand is why he's hitting him with his right shoulder. That's the one he throws with. you're going to hit somebody, hit him with the other one.
You know, the linebacker that he blocked is Marlon Williams, the guy that Sam Bradford tried to tackle earlier in the ball game and ended up with the concussion, or what we anticipate is, and so did his coach heading to the locker room before halftime. Murray trying to follow his blockers, a little bit short of the first down. I think he had to get to the midfield stripe, and he looks to be a little bit shy of that. Paul Williams, one of the captains, middle linebacker, made the stop.
Yeah, this Red Raider defense came into the game ranked 4th in the conference in total defense, but they were 11th against the run, giving up 177 yards a game, but 1st against the pass. Now, sometimes those stats can be a little misleading. You know, it's easier to run against them than it is so that people don't throw, but pretty good defense anyway.
We're on 3rd and 1, play action, and they throw, and they complete it to Elridge, the tight end. First catch by a tight end tonight. Kind of a gutsy call with a backup quarterback on 3rd and 1, but Oklahoma keeps its drive alive. Eldridge comes up limping a little bit. Remember, LSU is number 1. Kansas is going to move to number 2. Oregon will fall after their Thursday night loss. Missouri will move up if Oklahoma can't come from behind. It's still going to be a 3-team playoff for the Big 12 championship. And lo and behold, West Virginia and even Ohio State could climb back in. You got to play some more football the next couple of weeks.
There's a lot of football left to be played. The only conference that's finished is the Big 10. Everybody else plays next week and maybe a championship game.
There's the best throw of the day for Halsley. Got it to Malcolm Kelly. And Kelly's down to about the 23-yard line. Finally, number 4 with a couple of catches here in the 3rd quarter. Pickup of 19.
You know, stuff like now this stuff works because they're just thinking run. They're just, you know, when you got DeMarco Murray in your backfield and all you're thinking about is he's going to run the football, and that's all you've been able to do successfully. Now you get a chance with some protection because the defensive line, they're waiting for a run. It's easy to throw downfield.
3 tight end set. Halsley, there's his numbers. And timeout. With 10:14 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 34-10 Red Raiders.
On ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. Visit southwest.com. Cadillac, introducing the all-new 2008 Cadillac CTS. Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life, the power to help you succeed. And Verizon Wireless.
That's a windmill museum. Over 90 historic windmills on display there. They cover the entire history of the American water pumping windmill from the 1860s to current production. If you had one of those in your backyard, it'd be great, but the neighbors probably wouldn't like it.
They wouldn't like it a bit.
Wouldn't like it one bit.
Nope.
First down, Oklahoma at the Texas Tech 23. Trying to close the gap here a little bit. And it's Chris Brown. And Brown goes for 9 tough yards. Darcel McBath prevented him from picking up the first down. But here's Oklahoma now inside the 15 of the Red Raiders with 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. All hope is not lost, but boy, if they don't get a touchdown on this drive, I'm not so sure they've got what it takes to come back all the way. They came back from a halftime deficit last year. They trailed by 7. They won by 10, but that was in Norman. And they had their starting quarterback, Paul Thompson, playing in that one. Brown kind of rolled over the top. I don't think his body ever landed until he got to the first down marker. He rolled over the top of a player, and I think they're going to give it to him. Jake Ratliff made the tackle. As they unpile bodies, let's see if John Bible's going to signal first down or not, or are they going to bring out the sticks? They're going to bring out the chain gang here and have a look.
Well, I'm right here, and I'll tell you, he made it by the nose of the ball.
That's what that guy's hoping.
I just told you. They don't even have to measure.
Well, yeah, but the referee wants them to measure, Paul. So they're going to measure.
I know, but I don't want them to. The nose of the ball. Bing.
There it is. Right from the stripe up. First down. Reminder, near the conclusion of our game today, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. First down, Oklahoma, trailing by 24 here in the 3rd quarter. With the ball at the Texas Tech 13-yard line. 3 tight end set. for the Sooners. And DeMarco Murray, the tailback, gets the call. Try to cut back against the grain. Broke one tackle, but here comes a whole bunch of black jerseys. And they drop him for a loss. Joe Garcia led the way, the leading tackler. Not only in this game, but he was the leading tackler in last year's game against Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's just good aggressive defense. First of all, shuts it off over there, and then he breaks the tackle right here. And then Garcia comes up and makes the tackle.
Loss of a yard. Second down and 11. Texas Tech's defense, you see the numbers tonight, 159 yards is all. Murray again, up the middle, trying to backpedal his way, and does to about the 9-yard line. Marlon Williams made the stop.
You know, that's the one thing about DeMarco Murray. I don't know, but notice the other backs doing the same thing, but he lines up 8 yards behind the ball. It gives him a view of what's going to open up in front of him. You know, they got all those big guys up there in front of him. He has a chance to take a look at what holes are going to be open, and then he picks his poison.
Let's see if Oklahoma goes to the end zone to try to maybe find Kelly or maybe one of the tight ends who they've used very sparingly tonight. It's 3rd down and 6 at the Red Raider 9. Halsley, here comes a blitz, and they get to him. Down he goes. Daniel Howard, number 53, gets the sack. They lost 7 and the crowd celebrating, especially the student section.
Right here, a little blitz inside. You got to pass protect from the inside out. Make sure all the guys on the inside are blocked and leave the guys on the outside free if you leave anybody free.
Now Garrett Hartley hit a field goal just before halftime, and now from 33 yards away, he's got another one. But boy, they wanted touchdowns on both those drives in the second quarter and here midway through the third, and had to settle for 3 both times. 34-13, Texas Tech. You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Our score, Texas Tech 34, Oklahoma 13. Graham Harrell, a couple of touchdowns, over 300 yards, has thrown 50 passes. And Michael Crabtree, 141 yards receiving and a touchdown. Garrett Hartley to kick off. And this one a deep kick taken about 5 yards in the end zone. Detron Lewis will take a knee. Texas Tech will work at the 20 after we check in with Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brad, let me get you a check of the prime time pulse on ESPN. Pat White has accounted for more than 280 yards in total offense, a couple of touchdowns. West Virginia with a clear path to the Big East title if they win out, leading at Cincinnati 28-17. And on ESPN2, a battle for the Atlantic Division in the ACC. Down 10-3, BC is accounted for 10 unanswered points and lead at 13-10 at Clemson.
All right, Matt, keep us posted from Death Valley. The 20, 1st and 10, 7:04 remaining in the third quarter. Edward Britton in motion, and they give him the ball on the end around, and he got about a yard. So they have run a few plays today, but mostly it's been the quarterback, Graham Harrell, and his coach loves watching this guy play.
He's a smart person. He's incredibly dedicated to all the little things. Graham Harrell has never quit trying to find a way to be better, and is a great leader for our team, and he's one that the rest of the players draw from.
Over 4,500 yards passing last year, over 5,000 this year. Here he comes again, lobs it out, completes it to Crawford. First down across the 30, a lot more all the way. He lost the ball at the end of the play, but I think he was down, and that's what they're going to call.
Brad, that little scenario right there where the you're just talking about Harrell and all the yards. You've seen him make the long throws, the touch throws like this. I mean, this just came into his psyche. It just split second. I'm going to throw the ball down the field. No, I'm going to throw the square in. No, I'm going to throw the out. Oh, I don't have time because somebody's in my face. I'm just going to flip it just to my little back right here. He's got all the throws at a moment's notice.
This one, the quick throw out, bobbled by Crabtree and dropped. Dana Holgerson, the offensive coordinator, talking with us about Harrell. He said, I went down to visit his dad, Sam, who's one of the most successful Texas high school coaches. He said, it's been about 2 hours just sitting there talking football. And he said, I kept looking at this kid over in the corner, out of the corner of my eye, and he said he wasn't saying anything. He was just listening. And he finally, I said, Sam, is that your son over there? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, is he going to be a pretty good player? And he said, I think he understands the game already. And you can tell he's a coach's kid.
Yeah.
Over the middle, that one a little bit behind Edward Britton, and it's incomplete.
Well, the thing I like, well, how many passes is he up to? 50?
I don't know, 53 maybe,
53,
something like that.
He hasn't had a sack. He's not been sacked. I mean, the offensive line, you got to give him some credit. I mean, these guys are big. They are huge. In fact, they are the biggest offensive line in the country at 331 pounds, 6'6", 331 on the average.
You see, they just take their time with that no huddle. They get all their guys up there. The big eaters up front. They get the receivers, 2 to each side. He just takes his time. Plenty of time on the play clock. And on the snap, throws across his body and completes it for a first down. And that one's to Edward Britton.
You know what else is also impressive about Harrell, guys, is just how much he checks out of plays. You mentioned before that, I mean, he calls about 40% of the plays during the course of the game. And Leach has basically given him free rein to check out of anything he doesn't like. And Harrell was telling me he sort of feels like the Peyton Manning of college football because he has so much leeway. He said on one hand, it does put a lot of responsibility on the quarterback, but you really relish it because it's not an opportunity a lot of quarterbacks actually get.
And Mike Leach gives him that authority on a lot of the plays.
And Mike is a little bit different than your normal.
And Graham told us that too. Yeah, coach is a little bit different. Here's Crawford and a quick opening draw, breaking tackles, still on his feet. He's inside the 30. Tough run by the freshman out of Memphis.
Well, the reason for him it's a tough run, but the nice part about it, he's got fresh legs. These guys don't run the ball that many times. And when you see the blocking that he gets up front, but he does a lot of this. Watch him break a tackle here, there, his second one, and he keeps his legs moving. But again, he has fresh legs.
And those legs took him inside the 30-yard line. Kobe Lewis now gives him a breather. He's in the backfield. And Harrell comes up throwing. Maybe. Yep, found his safety valve. And it's Kobe Lewis who just checked in. He looks over to the sideline, checks that wristband, pick up a 5, and he brings his troops up with a second down.
He said they have about 10 basic plays that they like to run a lot. 10 passing plays that they like. They like the 4 vertical and the crossing routes down below and a few other ones. So they got about 10, but then there's every now and then they've got some special ones for different defenses.
Inside the Oklahoma 25, 2nd and 5. Harrell broke a tackle, backpedals, and now just throws this one away. We talked with him about his head coach, Mike Leach.
He keeps practice fun, he keeps meetings fun, everything's interesting, but at the same time, it's just like, where does he come up with this stuff? So, you know, like, this guy's strange, but like I said, he's fun to be around, he's really interesting.
He is an interesting character.
I was talking to Stoops about Leach before, because Leach was with Stoops for a year at Oklahoma as his offensive coordinator. I'll tell the rest of that story here after the play.
3rd down and 5. Coach Stoops has pretty much had Mike Leach's number. It looks like that might run out tonight. That throw is complete, and it's going to be really close.
And we got a holding penalty, I believe.
There is a flag down back at the 30-yard line.
Holding, 67 on the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And when Mike Leach was the coordinator for Stoops, and Josh Heupel was the quarterback, and Heupel would come back and he said, well, Coach, I saw this coverage, and so I saw, and he said, wait a minute, I don't want to hear about the coverages. If your guy's open, you throw it there. if you go to the next spot, if he's not open, you go to the next spot. I don't want to hear about coverages. Just throw to the open guy.
And the 5,000-yard passers, he's joined the group, along with another former Tech star, a couple of them actually, Kingsbury and Simmons here. 3rd and 15. Graham Harrell on the run, trying to find a receiver. Finally throws, incomplete. Would have been a first down, but couldn't quite tuck that one in there to Michael Crabtree. Coming up after the game, your late local news over most of these ABC stations, and you can tune into Sports Center on ESPN for a look at what looks to be Lloyd Carr's final drive. The BCS title picture that's getting clouded more and more by the minute, and the Colts 2-game skid. All that on Sports Center following West Virginia and Cincinnati over on ESPN. Well, they hit a 51-yard field goal earlier. Alex Terlicka did in the first quarter. He's going to try one going the other way. The kick on the way. He got all of it. He hit the upright, and it's no good.
Well,
he had plenty of leg.
He did.
You can still muster a smile, though, if you're a Red Raider fan, because you still got a 34-13 lead. Let's check in with Matt in New York.
All right, Brad, the Sports Center Minute is powered by Vizio. Number one, LSU won today. They got rushing touchdowns from 4 different Tigers. They go to 10-1. They get Arkansas next week, then the SEC championship game. Kansas, number 3 with a bullet, got 4 touchdown passes from Todd Reesing. They now have an 11 in their record for the first time in school history.
Usually if they're 11-0, you'd be talking about a Kansas basketball team. Malcolm Kelly, they say, was juggling that ball on a first down throw, so it's incomplete. Jamar Wall was over there covering.
You know, Oklahoma has the #1 receiving tight end in the country in Gresham.
Hasn't caught a ball.
Hadn't caught a ball yet.
No. 10 touchdown catches, his best in the nation, as Bob said, and he hasn't touched it.
And Finley, the other tight end, has came in with a career total of 52 and 9 touchdowns. I don't think he's caught a pass.
Eldridge is the only tight end that's caught one. Here's Murray, and Murray out for about 9, almost 10 yards. He might have given him a first down, although there's a flag down anyway.
1-yard penalty, second down.
So every time something goes right for OU, something goes wrong for OU. And they'll bring this one back. Would have been a good gain. A good game, that is. College football on Thanksgiving night. We've got for you on ESPN. Pete Carroll's Trojans take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. Pivotal Pac-10 showdown. College football primetime presented by Applebee's. Part of Rivalry Week presented by Remington on ESPN. That's Thursday night at 8 o'clock.
Well, whoever picked these Thursday night games way back in April and did a heck of a job.
I think it was Dave Brown, probably.
Because there's been some really good Thursday night games.
There sure has. They've meant a lot to a lot of different conferences. And here on this Saturday night, a shocker taking place in Lubbock, Texas. If you just joined us, Housley going to throw it in the dirt. Jake Ratliff is the guy that was giving chase and forced him to throw that one away. We talked a little bit about the Pac-10. Arizona State win at home against USC and Arizona, and they'd be going to the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Oregon now, without their quarterback, they'd have to win the last 2 and have the Sun Devils lose once, and USC would have to win 2 and have Oregon lose once.
So Arizona State is in the driver's seat. They win 2, they're in.
They're in the.
Oregon needs to win 2 and have Arizona State lose 1.
They're in the catbird seat, kind of like McGuire.
USC needs them to lose both. Both of them need to lose.
Housley with time down the middle, tipped, incomplete. 2 guys there defensively and both linebackers. Marlon Williams was one that broke it up.
You know, Ness, I'm sitting there listening to you 2 guys talk about this guy. They need to win 2, lose 2. We've had every first place team, second place team knocked off all year long. These guys, all these people like to do is win 1.
Well, this is going to be, if this holds up, this will be the 11th time an unranked team has beaten a top 5 team this year. 10 already. And this would be 11 if this holds here tonight in Lubbock. 2:37 left in the quarter, and Oklahoma's got to give it up. Mike Nall with the punts. Pretty good one. Chases Amendola back to the 24. And he gets back around the 30-yard line. Short return. Pretty good punts. Well, every week we try to instruct you a little bit about how things work. There's my partner, Bob Greasy, my spotter, Clint Deans. What are you going to show us?
I'm going to show you how the telestrator works. Go right over here. Now you just write on the screen. You get all these different lines and colors. So you just push down here Push that one and it goes there. Now you push this red one, it goes there. Now we got circles if you want to do circles.
Yeah, you do good at circles.
Now we do these other lines with a little there over here, and then you do this over here. Now the best thing about this is all I have to do is push over here.
Clear.
Clears the whole thing.
Everybody in the booth knows how to clear the screen. Bob's the only one that really knows how to draw on it. But you talk about the jealousy factor of Paul McGuire. It's just immense. We'll talk about that in a minute. Shovel pass inside of Crawford. Crawford had a steam. Cross the 40. He's out to the 45-yard line, and now maybe Bob can show us on a telestration just how that would look on that play.
Okay, now I can use my finger too. Here's the quarterback. He's going to drop back, and then he's going to shovel it to the running back. Go ahead and turn it loose.
Here it comes.
Now.
And then you got a little gap there.
I got a little red here. Now you got right through there.
There you go.
Change it to red.
And he goes through that little tunnel that you drew so nicely with his blockers.
Yeah.
And gets a first down out at the 45. And now it's back to Harrell. And incomplete. And of course, I said Paul is has telestrator envy that you wouldn't believe.
Well, I do, and you know, I worked on mine, and I've been doing this while you guys were talking up there. Mine's a little bit different. I mean, I don't have the big thing, and I can't. But what I do with mine is I draw because I get bored listening to some of the stuff you guys talk about.
Can you clear it?
Yeah, if I could. Well, yeah, I can. See it? See what? See? I can. It's all now. It's clear. Now I can do it again.
That's not very clear, though.
Well, let me bang it a little bit.
Those are how they work, our telestrators.
Yeah, there it is.
Harrell over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Grant Walker.
Hey, Paul, you need to get some color on that telestrator.
Where am I? Where am I? I'm not on your telestrator. Paul. You can't draw my hairdo, can you?
He couldn't draw long hair. That was going to be my guess.
That's what it is. The curly hair just kind of messed you up, didn't it?
Bonnie, if you were bald, I could have drawn you.
You know what? Did you see the Mohawk piece?
Yes,
we
saw that.
Game Day show?
You look good.
I saw that, and I really admire Greg Garber for what he was doing, but you could not pay me enough.
No.
Sorry.
We don't want to see that either, Bon.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
First down, or rather third down and 10. 5 out of 12 in the third down conversions tonight. 2 for 2 on their fourth down conversions. Flags down, probably another holding coming, and an incomplete pass. And now they might accidentally have to punt.
74 on the offense, hands to the face. That's a 15-yard penalty. Third down.
Rylan Reed, the left tackle.
Penalty is declined. Correction, the penalty is declined.
Penalties decline, and it'll bring up fourth down and 10. But on 4th and 10, they might just go ahead and go for it. Nope, they're going to bring out the punting team. They got to give that guy a little bit of work. Jonathan LaCour, the freshman out of Kingwood, Texas. They got to, you know, like every quarter or quarter and a half, they got to throw him out there and let him loosen up his leg.
What they tell us yesterday, they had an ad in the paper last spring for a punter. They were looking for a punter.
Yeah, when their senior graduated, they realized they didn't have a punter on the team, so they put an ad in the paper.
Paul applied, figured he had a couple of kicks left, but he was out of eligibility. And it's an awfully nice punt. Inside the 10, Reggie Smith. Reggie got the corner, cuts back across the 20, and then got hammered, and another flag down.
They've got flags even on the sideline in front of the Oklahoma bench about the 40-yard line.
Block in the back, 22 on the return team. That's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
So they back it up. Could have put Oklahoma in a hole. They're already in a hole. 34-13. Bonnie.
Was this the funniest story we heard from Leach yesterday? We asked him, what's the longest you've ever punted on? He said 4th and 20. This was a couple years ago when Cliff Kingsbury was still here. They were playing New Mexico. So they're backed up 4th and 20, and he was trying to convince Kingsbury to go vertical, and he wouldn't do it. So they were 4th and 20. He made Kingsbury throw. Sure enough, he hooks up with Anton Page for 34 yards, scores 2 plays later, and Kingsbury runs back and he throws his hands up. He said, there, are you happy now?
Is that what you wanted, Coach? I finally threw it down the field, and it was a touchdown. Well, Oklahoma could use a batch of touchdowns right now. They trail 34-13, and the Big 12 might be slipping away. You never know. The national championship certainly is slipping away unless they can find a way in the next 16 minutes to come from behind.
You know, the Oklahoma offense has not scored a touchdown today.
Nope.
They've gotten down in inside the 20, but have not, only two field goals.
It's a good throw and a flag down. It's finally a tight end, Finley, who caught it. And there might have been holding on Finley back there before he caught it. That's where the flag is, right where the reception was made.
Pass interference. Offense.
Oh. How many times have we said when something goes right, it's going wrong anyway? So Finley pushed off to get the catch, and it's all coming back.
Finally get a chance to get a tight end to catch a pass, and watch this. You can, once you have it established, and that's Duncan, 57. Once he's established his position, you can't push him out of it, and that's a perfect call.
Sounds like a defensive player talking, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a perfect call. You know, the problem, the dilemma that Oklahoma has is if they run the ball, which they can't do, the clock runs. And if they try to pass the ball, which they can't do, the clock stops.
Clock is running down. They're running out of time. Only a quarter left and 40 more seconds in this one. And this one's intercepted. Picked off by Chris Parker. And it's 1st and goal, Texas Tech. One of the defensive captains, Chris Parker, with the interception.
He jumps to the inside, reads the route. Oh, he comes to the outside. The ball was thrown to the outside of Kelly. That's his first interception of the year and only the 10th interception for Texas Tech.
1st and goal, Red Raiders at the Oklahoma 6. 34 points for Texas Tech and looking for more right here. Harrell scans the field, tipped in the air, and it's Lofton with the interception. Oklahoma gets it right back. Well, they dodge one more right there.
As a quarterback, you hate this. You have somebody open, you want to get them the ball, and then they raise their hands and block it. Right there.
Was Jeremy Beal that tipped it in the air, and then Lofton, the middle linebacker, a diving catch for number 40.
You know, you don't have to be an outstanding pass rusher or sacker to be a defensive lineman. Your niche could be, all right, I'm going to get some pressure, and then I'm going to see with good vision, and I'm getting my hands up. You'll knock more balls down than you'll get sacks, I'll guarantee you.
Texas Tech is taking a timeout with 27 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Now the biggest music stars on the planet getting together tomorrow night on ABC. It's the American Music Awards. For the first time ever, your votes will decide who wins. All the best to be there performing, including Beyonce. It's on ABC at 8 o'clock, 7 Central tomorrow night on ABC. Well, Oklahoma gets it back exactly where Chris Parker had returned it to, the 6-yard line. But that's the good news. They've got it back. The bad news is they're at their own 6-yard line, and there's only 15 minutes and 27 seconds left in this game.
You remember the Oklahoma team that we saw last year? Well, and the year before. I'm talking when they lost Bulmar at quarterback, right, and they had to go with Thompson.
And everything changed in the 1st quarter of this game when Sam Bradford went out, their starting quarterback and the #1 quarterback efficiency-wise in college football, to an injury. And Jamar Wall makes the stop after DeMarco Murray picks up good yardage. Sam Bradford came in completing over 70% of his passes. This was on a fumble. This was not an interception that he had thrown. And trying to make the tackle, just sort of got run over by Marlon Williams, the guy that had recovered the fumble. And from that point on, when we saw him on the sideline, the dazed look on his face pretty much told the entire story of his night. Murray.
If you're a quarterback and you're going to tackle somebody who had an interception or a fumble return, you need to go low and protect your head and your arm and just slow him up, try to knock him down, but don't get an injury like he did.
Texas Tech
not helping your team.
Is a quarter away from yet another upset in this 2007 college football season. 34-13, Red Raiders end of 3.
ESPN on ABC, college football
fans have had reason to cheer. The coach on the left, who used to work for the coach on the right, having a big night as we head into the fourth quarter. It's 34-13. Texas Tech in front of number 4 Oklahoma. And the Sooners are in a heap of trouble, playing their backup quarterback and trying to make a comeback. Malcolm Kelly, that's a good throw that time by Joey Halsley, all the way across the field from the hash to the wide side to Kelly for a first down.
That was a good throw, as you mentioned, and deep out. Good yardage by Kelly. They need to get Kelly involved, and they need to get Gresham involved. Those two guys have been out of this offense.
1st and 10 on the first play of the fourth quarter, out near the 29-yard line. It's been mostly DeMarco Murray. He's got more yards than the whole rest of the team put together. Again, they throw that wide side to Kelly, and tipped by Chris Parker. Let's check our performers of the week. We do this every week. I took Antoine Cason from Arizona, 2 returns for touchdowns on Thursday night in the upset.
How about Tebow? He's playing great.
He had another great day today. Paul?
Well, I took the whole United States Air Force. They beat Notre Dame.
Of course, I take Juice Williams since we did the Illinois game last year, and his 4 touchdowns, a career day, spanked the former #1 team in the country, OSU.
All those guys had big games
last week.
Last week or Thursday night in the case of Casey.
Juice had another good game today.
Yeah, he did. As they beat Northwestern. What a way to finish the season. Upset #1 Ohio State, then beat Northwestern, and finish off a season for Ron Zook that, wow, it shows a lot of promise for next year, too, because they're a young football team.
Yeah, exactly. Coach of the year in the Big Ten, huh?
Gotta be.
Yeah, 9-3.
I just really liked about last week's game when Ohio State went out, just scored right away, and they came back and won the football game. It just shows what Zook has done with that Illinois team.
Here it's 3rd down and 6. A must-have 3rd down. Texas Tech's defense knows it, and so do their fans. That won't do it. Nice play by Daniel Charbonnet in the backfield as he saw DeMarco Murray coming and dropped him for a loss of 3.
You know, when we did the open, I talked about that we're no longer reloading, that they're in championship race, and the final key to the puzzle was Sam Bradford.
Yep.
Well, they lost that piece of the puzzle tonight, and their offense just fell apart.
And when you lose one piece to a puzzle and you put it together, it looks pretty ugly sometimes.
Well, that's the key part, too.
That's the key part. Yeah. And the punt return dropped right in his tracks is Eric Morris. 14 minutes away for Texas Tech for their biggest win of the season.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
Well, that's so sad to see Sam Bradford having such a great year, injured early in this ballgame. Now you can see he's in street clothes and trying to watch his team to see if they can come back. But against Texas Tech right now, Texas Tech doing about whatever they want. Crabtree with another catch, and we're under 14 minutes remaining in the ballgame.
These 2 quarterbacks, Bradford and Harrell, Harrell was the number 3 in the nation in pass efficiency, and Bradford was number 1.
Yep.
Both completing over 70% of their passes.
And now Oklahoma's not even assured of playing in the Big 12 championship. They still got Oklahoma State left, and that's always a war.
Yeah, and they have to win that one because Texas comes back in. If Texas beats A&M next week.
And the North will be decided at Arrowhead Stadium next Saturday night on ABC. ESPN's College Game Day will be there. It'll be quite a scene at Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Kansas City Chiefs. A night game between Missouri and Kansas. One team 11-0, one 10-1. That'll determine the North, and that'll determine who's going to San Antonio from that side.
I bet you can't get a ticket.
I bet you can't either.
Missouri and Kansas. Yeah.
You know, Grace, you were talking about Harrell not being sacked and the way he's throwing the ball. I don't think that he's thrown more than 2 bad passes the entire night. This guy has got so much confidence in his offensive line. He just sits there and waits or moves around to give himself some time. He throws excellent passes.
Most of the trouble he's gotten himself into have been batted passes at the line that have turned into turnovers. As Crawford takes it, and it's time right now for us to check out the Southwest Airlines playbook, and my partner over here will do the honors.
Well, we're going to go back to one of their touchdown passes. This is Crabtree. He's going to run a little post corner. Now watch as the defense drops back.
And Crabtree, I thought he stepped out before he got all the way down there.
Got a quick play on us, but we're going to go back. Now watch as the defense, they're short and deep on him. Here's the short guy, here's the deep guy, and he gets right in between them. He's a redshirt freshman, Crabtree. They just teach these guys well. You know, it gets back to Leach and the coaches. They teach the passing game so well. And of course, Harold just looked off the safety, held him in the center, and then laid it back out into the corner, and easy touchdown.
On the ground, Lewis. And he broke free. What a run by the little guy out to the 30-yard line. And I mean little guy, about 5'5". Bonnie?
Talk about another little guy, and what a great decision the coaches made this year with Danny Amendola. He was lining up in the left slot last year. They moved him over to the Y, the right slot this year, and you know the difference? It's about 35 more catches and 400+ more yards in his first 2 years combined. And Dana Holgerson, the offensive coordinator, said that, you know, I simply pegged Danny wrong. I thought he was like a Wes Welker, who's more of an underneath guy. It turns out Danny's actually more of a pure receiver. He gets out of his cuts fast. He's a much better downfield guy than we gave him credit for. And now that they switched sides, it's made a difference.
Well, both those guys over 100 catches, Crabtree and Amendola, and over 1,000 yards. Both had over 1,000 yards coming into the season. And of course, Crabtree has added another touchdown catch that Bob just showed you on the Southwest Airlines passing playbook a minute ago. His 21st of the year. That pass is caught, and it's actually going to be a loss on the play. We'll check in with Matt Weiner in New York. Matt.
All right, Brett, it's all over at Clemson, Boston College in Clemson. A good finish. Matt Ryan picked a great time for his first touchdown pass of the night, finding Rich Gunnell behind the coverage to put BC up. Last chance, Mark Buckholz from 54. It's short. BC hangs on to win it 2017. They'll meet the winner of Virginia Tech in the ACC championship game. And as you see, West Virginia wins at Cincinnati.
Oh, Clemson had it on their home field and in their hands, and they let it slip through their fingers. Here's Amendola, the guy that Bonnie was just talking about, with a completion to the 49-yard line.
Every time you look at some of these small receivers, Amendola or Morris, I think of Wes Welker. I mean, Wes Welker didn't have a scholarship, was a walk-on, or finally got the last scholarship. I guess didn't have a scholarship anywhere else to go. Was just like these guys here. Was just like Morris and Amendola, the little guys just running around catching balls. And what Tom Brady call him? He says he's like
just like a retriever. I just throw it, he goes and catches it, he comes back to the huddle with his tongue hanging out.
Just throw it again, throw it again.
And they throw it again, and it's complete to Crawford. And Crawford gets back to about the 41-yard line.
You know
Lofton made the stop.
You know who else went here? Zach Taylor.
That's right.
Zach Thomas.
Zach Thomas,
with,
a great Miami Dolphin linebacker.
The linebacker, too small to play anywhere, and he just played for 10 or 11 years and made the Pro Bowl about 5 times.
Well, here's a punt situation. I guess 4th down and 6. I'm a little bit surprised by this one, actually.
Well, I think he's ahead by 21 points.
And he is playing against a friend. And sometimes there is humanity among friends in the coaching ranks.
I think that has nothing to do with this. I think he just wants to back him up.
And they got close to the punter, but he got it away. Fair catch, called for, great bounce. And they're going to bury him down, as Bob said, inside the 10-yard line. With 9:32 remaining in the game. All Texas Tech right now over number 4 Oklahoma. They won't be number 4 for long.
Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. With Southwest Airlines' convenient nonstop flights, it's like having your own company plane. Visit southwest.com. The Nissan Titan, proud presenter of the 2007 Heisman Trophy. To cast your vote, go to theheismanvote.com. And Clean Exchange, a disposable head electric shaver, new from Remington.
Oh, the crew of the bowling tourney. Look at Gay's follow through. That's good. That's good.
Look out, Jack. Oh, Jack. I don't think you'll be able to talk that thing out of the gutter. Here's Cart Boy right down Main Street. Did he get it? No. Gonna have to play for the spare. Oh, boy. Here's the throw incomplete. And Halsley picking himself off the turf at about the 3-yard line. 34-13, Texas Tech. Graham Harrell can just sit on the sideline and go 406 yards, his 10th 400-plus game on the season, 44 of 68.
It's a record.
Wow.
He's only thrown 68?
Yeah, he slowed down a little bit. We thought we had him pegged for 85 to 100, but he slowed down a little bit.
That's
You know,
unbelievable.
they ran the ball a few times in there. That's why. And it looked like the left tackle, Lode Holt, came out of his stance too early for Oklahoma.
How many times has this been now that an unranked team has beaten a team in the top 5?
It's going to be 11 in about 9 minutes and 24 seconds.
11 times they've beaten the top 5 ranked team this year.
Time permitting after the game, John, Craig, and Doug would be in New York and bring you the Dell post-game report with all the scores and highlights of the day. I don't know if that's a possibility because we've been here for about 17 hours already. We still got 9:26 to play, but if the guys can, they will.
Well, you know, we've seen in just 2 days, Oregon on Thursday and again tonight, 2 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks go down, and the team just turns the other way around.
Patrick out to close to the 14-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary. Certainly the biggest play of the night for Oklahoma was that one right there when their starting quarterback was injured, making a tackle after a fumble recovery. Graham Harrell, the other quarterback's been perfectly healthy for Texas Tech, thrown a couple of touchdown passes over 400 yards and has led his team to a big lead over 4th-ranked Oklahoma. That pass complete out to Joaquin Iglesias, but it's short of the first down.
And Joaquin, there's no way for him to stay in bounds because the ball was thrown way to the outside. They've got 4th down and 1. They're going. They just got the signal from the sideline. They're going for it.
And there's Sam Bradford on the sideline in the street clothes, just looking up, watching the Jumbotron. He can probably focus on that better than he can on the field itself, more than likely. 4th down, Oklahoma. Play fake, and the throw is complete, and it's a first down. They get it out across the 35 to the 38-yard line, and finally they got it to Jermaine Gresham, the tight end. So he and Finley each have 1 catch now. The standings review. LSU number 1. Oregon's out of there.
Oregon got beat.
Arkansas is going to move up. Oklahoma's going to move out. Missouri will move up, and then those two meet next Saturday night in Kansas City on ABC.
One of them's going to lose.
And then that means West Virginia, if they continue to win, and even Ohio State, which we thought would be out of it.
Yep.
But there's still a whole bunch of football left, and who knows what's going to happen. LSU doesn't necessarily mean they're going to stay there either.
Remember
if
Florida?
They lose the SEC championship game.
Remember Florida last year was way out of it, kept moving up, kept moving up.
Halsley high on this one.
And then had the advantage of playing in a conference championship game.
We got a delayed flag.
This one came, as Paul said, when the play was way over, or at least where the flag flew from where the play was happening.
There were fouls on both teams after the play. Personal foul 72 on the offense. Personal foul 77 on the defense. Penalties canceled. It's 2nd down.
My big guy Duke Robinson out of Atlanta, 6'5", 352. That's his 2nd one tonight. Duke, got to hold your emotions in check, big guy.
Well, it's just been an off night for Oklahoma. Their offense has not looked good. Their special teams, the botched punt, the fake punt that they were going to try, messed up. They couldn't get off the field in the first half defensively. So it's been a real team effort for Oklahoma.
Texas Tech takes a timeout. 8:41 to play in the ballgame. That's not a misprint if you just joined us. Texas Tech 34. Oklahoma ranked 4th in the country, 13. And we're in the 4th quarter.
Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, and Bonnie Bernstein. The Red Raider fans have had a lot of reason to cheer tonight, and there is no joy in Norman, I can tell you that right now. As Joey Halsley trying to bring his team back. They're going to run this. Murray has been really their only offense tonight. DeMarco Murray, and no gain on that play. Texas Tech's defense has played very, very well. You know, you think about losing a quarterback like Sam Bradford. He was leading the country in pass efficiency. He might have a Heisman Trophy in his future, as Jason White won one in Norman. Graham Harrell is going to have these phenomenal numbers and probably isn't going to be a Heisman winner, but maybe he should be considered.
Well, you know, his numbers are almost too good.
Yeah.
They're almost fantasy type. They're, you know, it's a system.
Wouldn't you like to have him on your fantasy team?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Oh, for sure.
Well, obviously there's still a lot of candidates, I think, out there. And we start to wind down the regular season. And here's a throw incomplete. Manuel Johnson down the sideline. He's gone. Touchdown, Oklahoma, with their offense finally.
That was a great throw there.
65-yard touchdown.
Well, I tell you, Manuel Johnson was behind the defense, and this ball was right on target. Just take a look at the throw to the outside. Look at Manuel Johnson. And now there's just no way to catch him.
He just got behind Parker. Parker, I think, was looking, thinking that it was coming a throw across a crossing route, and he would come up and make a play on it. And let Johnson get behind him.
Manuel Johnson, who had 2 touchdown catches in the win over Baylor last week, has a 65-yarder here. Hartley hits the extra points. And the lead has been cut down 34-20.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC.
And the lead has been cut down to 2 touchdowns. Bobby Jack right in the mixture of that group there. Oklahoma has not attempted an onside kick this year. You got to figure somewhere along the line they're going to have to in this one with 7:50 to go. I don't know if it's here or not, but.
Yes, and for Texas Tech, this is called the small guys group instead of the good hands group. Look at these guys. There isn't a guy out there over 5'8".
And they're anticipating an onside kick as Kobe Lewis is the deepest guy, and he's at about the 30-yard line.
Well, it's not basketball. You don't have to be tall to catch a ball.
I know you don't, but you got to be a little bit bigger than this to block people.
It helps if it takes a funky bounce and goes high in the air to be a little bit bigger. But Hartley will tee it up, and let's see what happens.
He's looking to the sideline to get.
Wants to know which way to kick it.
Going to kick it down the field and over the head of everybody. Now, we talked a little bit about the Heisman, Paul. We didn't get your opinion.
Well, you know, I just keep thinking about watching that game the other night with you guys in Dixon of Oregon, and how much he meant to that football team. And I always thought the Heisman is what you meant to your football team and how you led your team and what you did for it. And when Dixon left the game, the whole thing turned sour for him. And I just, you know, I still think that he should be considered because of what he has done for that football team.
For the body of work up to the point where he got hurt.
Well, there
we understand his ACL was injured earlier, and a week or so before that.
And he kept it quiet, wore a brace, a knee brace.
Well, he sure thrilled us when we saw him against Michigan, that's for sure. Harrell shovel pass to Crawford, and a nice tackle by Baker to prevent much of a gain.
Well, there's no obvious favorite for the Heisman this year. It's unlike so many other years. It's been very quiet. You know, nobody's talked about it because nobody's really head and shoulders. But I'll tell you one guy, its numbers are much better than anybody else's.
Probably going to say Tim Tebow.
Just because he's a sophomore, Tim Tebow. I mean, you know, Florida's 8-3. They won a national championship last year. You'll never get any numbers any better than what he's got rushing and passing.
Over 20 touchdowns through the air and on the ground. First time it's ever happened in Division I. Harrell getting some pressure finally, but he got the pass to Morris, and Morris still on his feet. They're trying to rip that ball out of there, the Oklahoma defense.
I'm curious, with the Heisman race wide open, what would you think about maybe this being a year for a defensive player like a Glenn Dorsey from LSU or somebody like that?
Well, you know, obviously he makes a huge impact. He's been a little bit banged up, though, in the last couple of weeks.
I hear you, Bonnie, and I like what you're trying to do, but you just can't measure the impact. Like the last one that won it or got close, Charles Woodson. You
was
can
also
measure
a return man.
You can measure something. Yeah, he was a return man. He had interceptions, but it's just tough to measure a defensive guy's worth.
LaCour is going to have to punt. Oklahoma's going to get the ball back at the 36. Dominique Franks gets about 10 on the return with his forward progress, and Oklahoma's got the ball with 6:30 to go, only trailing by 2 touchdowns. It doesn't sound possible.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound probable, but it's possible.
Yeah.
So I don't think you want to go anywhere right now. The race for the chase concludes tomorrow afternoon. NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, Ford 400 at Homestead, Miami on ABC tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Jimmy Johnson is the guy in front. He won the pole position. And regardless of Jeff Gordon's finish, if he does these things, he's going to win it. That's tomorrow on ABC. Halsley, pump fakes, wants it all. Going long for Kelly. Kelly's out there, incomplete. Jamar Wall was covering.
I like the call. Just come in. You got pretty good field position. Give your man a chance. Just throw it down there. Let Kelly go against the other guy and see if he can come up with it.
6:23 remaining. There's the numbers on Joey tonight. Settling in a little bit better in this half, obviously, than he did in the first half,
You know,
when he wasn't planning on playing this much, folks. You know that.
If Oklahoma doesn't win this, they're not going to be in the championship race.
Right.
Who plays next week for Oklahoma? It might be a question.
Yeah, that's a big question.
Does Sam Bradford come back after? Is it a mild concussion where you might come back after a week?
There's a completion and about 8 yards.
Or
Quentin Chaney with
yeah.
the catch.
Or is it a more substantial concussion?
Well, that's something
where
they'll
you
be
can't
looking
come
at
back.
in Norman this week with the doctors, that's for sure, and they'll start all that process. They're scheduled, we talked to Joe Castiglione, they're scheduled to land, I think, back in Norman about 2:30 in the morning, something like that. It's probably going to be later than that because of the length of the game itself. But there's Josh Heupel sending out Halsley.
And we all know this is all 4-down territory for these guys.
That's
you know,
right.
It's amazing. Tech had that ball, and they didn't even run off a minute.
Big 3rd down, play action. They did this once before. And the throw is complete on the run at the 30. And it's Finley. The tight end is all the way to the 10.
Get the ball to your tight ends.
They should have done it earlier. 36 yards on the pass play.
The crossing route with Finley. It's coming right at you. Had the receivers on the right side clear out and then drug the tight end over on that side. Nobody are over there. Good throw and catch.
1st down, just outside the 10. Halsley to the corner of the end zone's got a man, and he overshot Manuel Johnson. It would have been a touchdown.
I'll tell you what, he also had Malcolm Kelly sitting in the middle of the end zone all by himself. Take a look at this. There goes Malcolm Johnson. Now he is wide open in the corner of the end zone. That ball was overthrown.
And he had a linebacker covering him. But the thing about that whole thing was the ball should have been thrown and released much sooner. And this is when you're a backup and you don't get those reps in practice, you don't make that throw.
2nd down and goal. Here's a stretch play, and that goes nowhere. Loss at 2. Colby Whitlock, the freshman tackle, made the stop. And now 3rd down. And Oklahoma, are they going to take a timeout? I think they are. They take their first of 3. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Huge couple of plays coming up for Bob Stoops Sooners when we come back. Well, it's 3rd down and goal. And it's backed up to the 12-yard line after that loss on that last carry by DeMarco Murray. But as Paul said earlier before the timeout, obviously it's 2-down territory here. And there'll be 2 cracks at it for the Sooners to try to cut it to a touchdown with almost 6 minutes still remaining. Oklahoma in the 4th quarter has come alive. They needed to do it a lot earlier, but there's still hope. And let's see if Joey Halsley, their backup junior quarterback.
It's Gresham, number 18, in the slot, the tight end.
Halsley throws quickly to Kelly on a slant, but it only got it inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Here's 4th and goal. Well, this is the ball game for Oklahoma right here.
Yeah.
You got to get one before you worry about the other one. So let's see if they can somehow score a touchdown on 4th and goal with 5.5 minutes to go and stay in the hunt of this ball game.
But Texas Tech, they don't know how to take a knee. They've never practiced that.
You'll know in a minute. The crowd will let you know. 4th and goal. Halsley to the corner. Touchdown! No, intercepted. We don't have a call from either official. Nothing. Texas Tech takes over.
Boy, there's where you get two officials looking at each other, Brad, and then they said, one looks at the other, they said, you know, the easiest way to call this, baby, is that they're forced out, they're out of bounds.
Well, the easiest thing was it wasn't a touchdown for Oklahoma. Wall ends up with this ball, number 3.
Johnson had it momentarily. You'll see him get both hands on it. The foot down and then ripped out of there on the way out of bounds.
Well, Wall takes it out of his hands after he's down. Does he have the ball? He has the ball. And then Wall takes it out of his hands as he's out of bounds.
I called it a touchdown when it happened. I still think it's a touchdown.
I do too. I really do. Take a look at this. Because Johnson has control of the ball there when he went out of bounds. They are reviewing this, baby, I can tell you.
His left foot down, his hands, both hands on the ball.
You need something very conclusive to overturn the call on the field.
After review, the play stands is called on the field. It's an incomplete pass.
I don't know about that one. The Raider fans love it. Bob Stoops doesn't have much of a reaction. Texas Tech takes over with 5:10 to go.
You don't know if he was juggling the ball or not. Let's see it again. So you don't know whether he's still juggling the ball and whether he obviously didn't hold on to it when he hit the ground. The other guy took it away from him.
On the ground, drop for a loss is Aaron Crawford. Time is of the essence for Oklahoma. We're under 5 minutes, or at 5 minutes, as they just took their second timeout. It's going to be second down and about 11 when we resume play. Well, Oklahoma had control of things in the South at 5-1, but it looks like they might fall to 5-2, and then they still have to beat Oklahoma State, and Texas has Texas A&M a date, so you can't count who's going to win the South.
Well,
but the North, that'll all be determined next Saturday night on ABC at 8 o'clock between Kansas and Missouri.
If Texas and Oklahoma tie, Oklahoma gets the invite because they beat Texas earlier in the year.
At the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, we were there for that one. Graham Harrell sort of standing there saying, okay, I've thrown 71 passes. Do I have to throw some more?
That's a great line.
He will. There's number 72, and it's complete. Amendola got out across the 10-yard line to about the 12, and the clock running. What a day for Graham Harrell. Came out shooting, and he hasn't stopped shooting yet. Crabtree, that one got him down close. Harrell actually ran in on a quarterback sneak, then found Crabtree to cap a touchdown drive. Throws this one to Eric Morris. He slices through the secondary for the touchdown. Those are the 2 touchdown passes of the 72 he's thrown.
Well, if Bonnie says he throws 220 of them during practice a day, he's just getting loosened up.
Yeah, he's just getting warm now. 3rd down and 6, a big 3rd and 6. They're going to keep it on the ground, and they're not going to get the 6. They're not going to get back to the line of scrimmage. And now the clock will tick, but you got to assume that they're going to have to punt this thing away, and Oklahoma's taking its final timeout. So Oklahoma's going to be out of timeouts when they get the ball back. See Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator, next to Coach Stoops. BCS standings again. LSU still has a game to play, and then an SEC championship game in Atlanta, as they are already the West contestant in that game. Kansas is going to move up to number 2. Missouri could move up as high as 3, depending on the next 4 minutes of this ball game. And those two get together at Arrowhead Stadium next week. ESPN's Game Day will be there, and we'll have that game for you in prime time next Saturday night to determine who's going in from the north.
Again, there's a lot of football left to be played. LSU has 2 games to be played next week against Arkansas, and then the SEC championship game against was it Georgia?
Either Georgia or Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee did come back and win that game.
Yeah, they beat Vanderbilt. They were in a hole today and found a way to dig out of it. But if Kentucky beats Tennessee, Georgia would be the SEC East contestant in the title game on their home state. So the punt comes from the end zone. See if any kind of return for Franks or Reggie Smith. This is Dominique Franks, and he's got good field position down to the 36-yard line. We talked about 25 years ago in college football history. How about this week in history? 50 years ago. 1957, and Notre Dame stops Oklahoma's winning streak at 47 games with a 7-0 shutout over Bud Wilkinson Sooners. Notre Dame's Dick Lynch scores the game's only touchdown on a 3-yard play with 3:50 left in the game, and they won it 7-0. Well, they didn't come in here with a 47-game streak, but they sure came in here with high hopes of not letting what's happened to them happen to them. Halsley across the middle. Johnson. Daniel Johnson out of bounds, and he's got it down inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line.
You've got to love this play call, because what Tech is doing, they're all playing deep. They were all going back to the end zone, and they just threw an underneath pattern. And Johnson came across the field, picked up, made the catch, and got the ball down to the 17-yard line. That's unbelievable.
Johnson and Malcolm Kelly trot out to the left. Halsley in the gun, looking the other way to the right, and throws it complete to Iglesias, trying to get out of bounds. .340 remaining, didn't get out of bounds. The clock running, Oklahoma's out of timeouts. They're down by 2 touchdowns.
An injured player down.
And it's Daniel Charbonnet, I believe, in the secondary. If you're just joining us, Texas Tech spotted Oklahoma a touchdown on a Lindy Holmes interception return for a score to make it 7-0 Oklahoma. And then Texas Tech went on a tear, scoring points, 5 straight possessions, couple of field goals, 3 touchdowns. Had what looked like a commanding lead into the game in hand, but Oklahoma's come back. Halsley, the backup quarterback, in for the injured Sam Bradford, has made a game of it, and in the second half has settled in. They're down 2 touchdowns. They're out of timeouts, and there's 3.5 minutes left. And there is the injured quarterback, Sam Bradford, who suffered a concussion of some degree we don't know, and they probably don't know on the sideline yet either. And now it's 2nd down and 7. Oklahoma trying to get to the Texas Tech end zone again, and then maybe an onside kick and a miracle. Who knows? Halsley hit as he throws. Incomplete. Brandon Williams leveled him, and he never really got his arm going that time.
Williams is the top sacker over here on the left side. He is the top guy. Oh, he just runs right by the tackle. It's Braxton.
Iglesias to the near side, and Johnson and Kelly up to the top of your screen. Finley, the tight end, in there on a wing right, 3rd and 7. Pump fake. Now to the end zone in the corner, way out of bounds. Malcolm Kelly was the guy who was aiming it at. And Oklahoma's down again to 1 play.
They keep calling that route because they think it's open, but the quarterback is throwing it late. You got to get the ball there a lot sooner than he's throwing it.
Keeping it in the field of play would help too.
Yeah, and that's the other. That had no chance of being caught. And I think he was just throwing it away because that was covered.
Bobby's having a tough time throwing it that quick because he's running a pump fake towards the middle of the field to try to hold the safeties, and it's not working.
Last chance for the Sooners. Halsley down the middle, tips, incomplete. Kelly, the intended receiver, and guns up and Lubbock. .310 remaining, and the Red Raiders take over again. But the last time they had it, they didn't use much clock at all. Can they use the remaining 3:10? Remember, Oklahoma's out of timeouts.
Tech's offense is not conducive to
they had
running
too many guys in the huddle.
Yeah,
didn't
they did.
12 players in the offensive formation. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Let's go back to Malcolm Kelly. Up in the air, just off his fingertips.
Boy, and that whole play was clean too.
Yeah, he was covered the whole way, double covered. I guess they just told him to throw it up to Kelly.
Yeah,
Let's see if he can.
Hope he could snag one.
See if he can do it.
Here's a lateral to Crawford. Crawford's out across the 12.
Hey guys, can I go back about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and there's a couple teams that are undefeated, and number 12 sitting next to you, Ness? Did he say there will be no undefeated teams?
That's what he said. And Kansas still is, and Hawaii still is, but they still got a lot of football to play too.
Hawaii almost went down last night.
And they're going to have a tough time with Boise State.
Kansas and Mark Mangino, who, you know, I'm very happy for Mark, doing really well, but he's got to beat Missouri next week and Oklahoma the following week.
Well, maybe Oklahoma.
Maybe Oklahoma, that's right. Maybe Texas.
Crawford out to the 16. Clock will tick under 2 minutes on this next snap.
Does anybody bring an extra razor? Did you, excuse me, in the opening, did you say this would be a 4-hour game, Nessler?
Yeah, I did.
Well, you missed it. It's gonna be about 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Well, 3rd down here and 8. Mike Leach can't wait for that clock to go a little bit faster. Keeps looking up there. It can only go 1 tick at a time, but they're using every second they can on the play clock. And now it's Crawford, and he's hit immediately. And it's going to bring up 4th down and about 9.
This is an offensive version of the prevent defense on defense. that's the offensive version of a prevent defense on defense.
Yeah, they're not chewing up too much time, but there's not too much time left. Rush everybody, I think Coach Stoops is saying. Let's go get him.
Yeah, they're not putting anybody back. The last punt, they tried a punt return. This time, they're going to try a punt block.
Jonathan LaCour stands at the goal line with 1 minute left. And here they come. And he got it off easily. Franks takes it at the 44-yard line. Well, Oklahoma needs 2 touchdowns in 51 seconds. Not very likely. And the fans are really having fun right now. They're starting to climb over the barricades. And there's going to be some tortillas flying and some margaritas consumed in about a minute.
Paul, you going to be down the middle of all that stuff?
Bobby, I'm getting out now. I'm bailing. See you guys.
At the 44. Halsley got a block. Airing it long. Had a man out there, and it's caught by Iglesias. Now Oklahoma's got to hustle up. They won't start the clock till they move the chains. And that quieted the crowd momentarily. 46-yard pass play. And that was just a jump ball.
Yes, it was. That was one that they got. They've thrown several others that they didn't get.
Halsley going to spike it so he can talk things over and at least look to the sideline to Coach Stoops and Josh Heupel. 2nd and goal, 37 seconds left, trailing by 2 touchdowns. That's Cale Gundy that was sending the play in on the sideline. Mike Leach knows all those guys on that sideline for Oklahoma. He used to be on that sideline.
Yep.
Halsley steps up in the pocket, fires, touchdown Johnson. And Oklahoma's within a score.
Halsley has improved as he has earned playing time throughout this ball game. That was a good throw right there.
Sure was.
He has protection, has good protection. Just threw that through 3 defenders.
Johnson for the touchdown. Garrett Hartley for the point after. And he got it. And so now we know we're going to see an onside kick. A little bit of shock right now in Lubbock because it's not over.
The receiver right in here in the middle of the field.
That's a good throw. Put it where it had to be.
Yep.
Put it on the money.
Throw it high. Let your receiver jump for it.
We mentioned earlier Oklahoma has not attempted an onside kick this year and still didn't, even though Texas Tech thought they were going to a few minutes ago. And now with no timeouts left, they have no choice but to try one with 31 seconds and then try to somehow pull out a miracle to force overtime. Well, it's certainly gotten interesting. Whether we've been here 4 hours and 10 minutes or not, we're still not done. Three plays, 56 yards in 20 seconds to get the touchdown. And now it's all on the foot of that young man. And the guys that go out there and try to scoop it up. And on the same token, Texas Tech's got the good hands team up close within 10 yards. Now they spread it out a little bit. And here comes the onside, high in the near side, and it's caught by Darcel McBath, and that will do it.
Murray is still down on the sideline.
Boy, that would be just the worst way to end a game. Lose the guy that was most of your offense today after the guy that's been most of your offense all year goes out with a concussion in the first quarter. Here's another look at the onside kick. He got nice height on it, but it went right to number 7, and then number 7 for Oklahoma goes down.
He just slipped.
Yeah, it looked like it. Well, this might be your morning paper tomorrow. We promised you an air raid in Lubbock, and we gave you one. And boy, what a happy group. They'll go to 8-4, 4-4 in the conference. It will no doubt improve their bowl situation. It'll be their biggest win of the year. And they did it in 2005, and they're going to do it in 2007, and that is upset Oklahoma. Our Chevrolet players of the game, DeMarco Murray, almost 100 yards on the ground, and who else but Graham Harrell, 420 yards passing. 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Got an injured man, Murray.
Yeah, boy, I hope that's
I hope that's nothing serious. It looks like the right knee that he's kind of hanging there, and he just slipped at the end of that play on his own. He didn't get hit that we could see. Career high attempt night for Graham Harrell. He's thrown more touchdown passes and thrown for more yards in games, but never thrown that many. And he has thrown another wrench into the BCS is what he's thrown. Because for the 11th time, 30 seconds from now, on this wackiest of college football seasons of 2007, an unranked team is going to upset a top 5 team. It's happened week in and week out, starting with the season opener in Ann Arbor, and now here in Lubbock. Here they come to meet their Red Raiders, who have upset Oklahoma 34-27. A long walk for Bob Stoops. Two good friends with an embrace at midfield. And Mike Leach has his biggest win of the season.
And Bob Stoops is right in the middle of all that.
Let's go down to Bonnie.
Graham Harrell, you were on the sideline when Tech beat Oklahoma on the last play 2 years ago. What was it like to engineer this one?
Unbelievable. They're a great team, and we knew we were going to have to fight, and but they just kept playing. I was just hoping we get that last onside because they're a good enough team. If they don't, they would have might have scored again. But it was unbelievable. It's a great feeling. It's a great atmosphere out here.
Oklahoma's defense has done such a good job holding you guys from scoring. What was different about this game?
We came out and executed. All week, Coach said if we execute, we can move the ball on these guys. And that's exactly what we did. We executed, we moved the ball, and got a win.
You're close to the 5,000-yard mark. You threw 72 times. What does your arm feel like right now?
Rubber. It's a big game, and I wouldn't win any other way. I love throwing the ball. Coach has done a great job here, and that's a big win for us.
And congratulations.
We said at the beginning of the game they had to outshoot the Sooners. They outshot them with that guy at the controls. Final score, Texas Tech 34, fourth-ranked Oklahoma 27. For Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, and Bonnie Bernstein, I'm Brad Nessler. Stay tuned for your local late news, except on the West Coast. An upset in Lubbock.